Everything from overlanding in your stock rig to full-on LS-powered 2 buggies on stickies. This is the Total Off-Road Podcast. I'm Steve.
And I'm Ian, and we are back yet again for another lucky episode.
Number?
I don't actually
57.
know what number it is.
Lucky number 57. That's how you're supposed to do that.
I just remembered the lucky.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for my day,
And the only reason I
take
remember
it.
it's 57 is because last week I was telling you to do it for 57 because 7's my lucky number. Other than that, we had not discussed what episode this was, and neither one of us remembered because too much stuff going
Another
on.
day.
I went wheeling.
Yes.
We wanted to.
We're doing it
I know
backwards.
you're excited to get into that, but we're
Yep.
doing this backwards. So welcome to episode 57, and we're going to tell you guys how to find us. So you can find our stuff on Instagram at total_offroad_podcast on IG. You can find us on Facebook at Total Off-Road Podcast. And we also have the Trail Riders group. So it's the Total Off-Road Podcast Trail Riders on Facebook. That's a group where you can continue the conversation of the week's podcast with all of the other listeners. So if you're not in that, make sure you join. And when you do join, make sure you answer the 2 questions that'll pop up when you click the join button. I don't care what you put in the answer box, but you better put something in there. And check out the website where you can get all of our merch, including our Nug Life stickers at the www.totaloffroadpodcast.com. What else you got? Patreon?
Yep.
Patreon.com/Total Off-Road Podcast. You cannot find it by searching us on the Patreon website because we are too explicit. They do not want us to be found by the general public. So you just have to type it into your search bar, patreon.com/Total Off-Road Podcast. Are there any other places that we need to tell them to find us?
No.
That's all of it. The website, the IG, the Facebooks, the groups.
Yep.
And we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then that's what we want to tell you guys. Make sure you do what you want to do with that information.
Let's tell them about the Patreon.
About it?
Because
What do you-
I wrote
oh.
down, the one thing I wrote down for this week is that I believe, let me double verify.
What does that say? Patreon, Jan shot almost. I have no idea what the fuck that said.
Up.
Oh, January shot almost.
So this comes
I
out
was
tomorrow.
like, what the fuck is this
Now,
shorthand?
what you wrote down. This comes out on the 19th, which means you have one more week to get in
Yes.
for January, because if you're not in on January, you don't get the ding
That point.
for January. So you
Right.
lose out on an opportunity for the giveaway, which Steve's going to tell you about now.
If you're entered into the $10 tier on the Patreon page, you're entered for an entry. What in the hell was that? To win.
I don't know, but it sounded angry.
That was mine. If you're in the $10 tier, it is the giveaway tier where we do a quarterly drawing with a $500 value, either from Complete Off-Road or whatever we choose, whatever you choose technically, that month to give away. So every month that you're in the $10 tier, you get basically an entry, 1 entry per month per every $10. And that gives you a total of 3. If you're in the $10 tier for $10, it gives you 3 entries each giveaway. So if you miss January, Ian's sleeping.
I was thinking of a different thing we could give away.
Okay, what are we going to give away?
I don't know.
Oh, you were just thinking.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about something different. Because
Try to give away.
last quarter, we did the choice of a shifter from Rad Designs or a gift card to Complete Off-Road.
I mean, the Rad Designs shifter wasn't claimed.
I know.
So, I mean, technically, we could just roll it over to the next one if that's what the people want.
Does that work?
I don't see why not. I mean, we can
But
pull
we got to
it.
come up with something new.
We can pull the patrons when we get there. We got to think.
That's what we did last time. So last time we
so
did
you gotta
just
think like
a poll.
30 some people didn't get a shifter last time.
Well,
so, I mean,
sucks to suck, doesn't it? I mean, I
there's
didn't get a
options.
damn shifter either, so I'm just
at
grumpy.
any given time, if you win the Patreon and we have something designated as a giveaway and you want something different, I mean, it's your money. You kind of do whatever you want with it, really.
No, you're going to do what we tell you to do. You're going to
Is
get a
that so?
shifter and you're going to give it to us.
Yes. Each month, the winner of the Patreon gets one race line
Yes.
and they ship them to us.
They ship it here.
Mhm.
One for you, one for me. Sorry, you get nothing.
Yes.
That's a lot to do. I'll have to do like a thing.
So yeah, that's the Patreon giveaway tier. You can also jump in for $1. You don't need to jump in at the $10 tier if you don't want to. For $1, you get all of the extra Patreon content, which is typically anywhere between a half hour to even sometimes almost a full hour and a half. Like one of our biggest episodes, like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, sometimes we like to talk.
We like to talk a little bit extra. And then also like when I have time to put together extra things, they'll be on there. Also, when we get an opportunity to get some guests on for another midweek mini segment, that will also only be available on the Patreon for $1. It's $1 a month. You get easily four extra episodes for $1.
Plus all
if that's
the old
not the
stuff
greatest deal in 2021,
too.
I don't even know. Oh yeah, you get everything.
You get everything. It unlocks
and I
every piece of content.
I posted that recently on Facebook. Was that are y'all caught up on the Facebook, or y'all caught up on the podcast? Like, go join Patreon for $1, and you can binge. It's like 15 or 17 hours worth of content that's on there right now.
Yep,
like
for $1,
for $1,
and then for $9 more, you get one entry into
winning $500. Yeah, definitely not a bad deal.
I don't think so. Get after it.
Get after it. So anyway, that's what that's all about. So make sure you guys check that out if you want to. And we just want to get that out early because a lot of people, sometimes they don't make it to the end of the podcast, and maybe they've never heard that before. Might have, 10 or 12 podcasts down and never made it to the end. Who knows?
Join the club. You won't regret the content.
Speaking of patrons, guess who joined this week?
Who? We get some noobs.
We got a noob. Juan Noob this week.
Juan Noob.
Yeah. Juan Michael Grow. I think it's Grow-A. No,
Growy.
Grow. I call him Growy. That's what I call him. Anyway, Mike's one of our friends. And I was excited when I opened up the Patreon and saw that he joined. I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Welcome to the party.
Hell yeah. So, pretty excited about that.
I don't know how he's going to mount that rad design shifter.
Oh, it'll fit.
Custom console.
I can guarantee you this much. You ready?
Yes.
If Growy puts a rad design shifter in his truck, it will look better than Corey's Winters shifter in his truck.
Fact. Like Facebook fact checked fact.
Stab.
That was like a shiv. That wasn't a stab. That was a shiv because it was low and deliberate. A stab's just like, I stabbed the guy. I was mad at him and I stabbed him. You straight up shivved him. Like, hold on.
I'm holding.
Does side tangent alert? Does shivving someone imply that it happens in prison? Because I don't think it does.
I think it's the item that you use.
It refers to the item, not the act. So, like, I can shiv you walking down a street.
Right, I think so.
But why do they call it a stabbing then?
Oh, well, because it was, I don't know.
Like, do people just not... Okay, but so follow me here. So,
is it really a shivving, or is it just being stabbed with a shiv?
But are you going to stab a guy with a toothbrush on the street when you could just go get a pocket knife? Or borrow one from your old lady's kitchen?
Depends on what your goals are.
But you're not going to build a shiv out of a toothbrush or something.
Hold on. I have it right here. Stab versus shiv.
Okay.
Despite the seemingly interchangeable properties of the term, the heart of the difference lies in the definition. A shiv is defined as a knife. Similarly, the verb to shiv translates to slice, or translates as to slice, or to knife, while the verb to shank correlates to stab. So being shanked.
I'm more confused now than I was before, and I wasn't even done being confused earlier.
Yeah. There's nothing. Shiv, it's a weapon.
Okay. So it refers to the item.
Shiv versus shank.
But it's technically still a stabbing. It's just with a shiv.
Yeah.
You could say I got stabbed with a shiv.
Right.
Not stabbed.
I just saw something.
So
to stab someone with anything not normally used as a stabbing weapon is either shivving or shank. Being shiv. To shiv versus, I don't know. This is fucking crazy.
Okay. So my point is, when I say I'm going to stab you, then I would imply that with a knife.
So here on askdifference.com,
That's a fucking thing.
Yes,
God almighty.
apparently so. Shiv is a noun, and it says a knife, especially a makeshift one fashioned from something not normally used as a weapon, like a plastic spoon or a toothbrush.
Yep.
And then below that is shiv, noun, a particularly woody byproduct of processing flax or hemp. It's a different shiv.
Yeah.
Shiv, verb, so used in the verb of or the form of a verb, is to stab someone with anything not normally used as a stabbing weapon. So a stabbing is the act. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it's what
so you
happened.
can get stabbed with a shiv.
Yes. Or you can get stabbed with a shank.
Yeah.
You can get shanked with a shiv.
No, you can get shanked with a shiv because shank is a
Hold on.
No.
I will move on to this.
I hope somebody's
let me
got
see
their
if I can
crayons out.
Hold on. Let me shank, a straight, narrow part of an object such as a key or an anchor, shaft, or stem.
That's a different meaning.
Shank, the handle of a pair, like shank, noun. I'm trying to find like a good, like, there are so many definitions for shank. It's ridiculous.
How can you have two definitions to one word?
Oh my God, two.
Like,
Dude,
well, that's
shank,
what I mean.
You should see, look at this.
Like,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh my, it just goes on and on.
This is why
there's
I can't
25
do,
definitions of shank.
This is why I can't do English in
guess
the
it's not
classroom because how the fuck are you supposed to know what the right word is? The fucking thing
The
means
context.
27 different things like motherfucker got stabbed. I don't care how you got to word it.
Oh my
His ass is
God.
bleeding with a hole from a toothbrush. So you can get stabbed with a knife or shivved with a shank.
Shank, verb, to remove another one's trousers, especially in jest to depant.
That's called depantsing.
That's called shanking.
Get with the times. AskDefinition.com.
Here's what we're looking for. Shank in the verb form, to stab, especially with an improvised blade.
What'd you say that was? Shank?
That's shank in a verb form.
So you can shank with a shiv or stab with a knife. The stabbing is with a knife, like a stabbing tool.
Can you shank with a knife?
No.
This is the dumbest side tangent we have ever had on this podcast.
But this all stemmed from me wondering if you would normally stab somebody with a toothbrush in public when you could just go get a pocket knife. It's very cycle. This is the shit that goes through my mind.
I need supervision.
Like, what are you thinking about? Like, you don't even fucking want to know. Because I don't want to have the conversation with myself.
I'm going to make a video of this later. It's going to be wonderful.
Okay.
Shit's going to go dumb viral because people are like, what is wrong with this guy?
A lot. Okay.
I need
don't
answers.
really know where I was going with that, but I'm just curious about some things in life and was seeking answers.
All right. Back to off-roady thingies. Did you do anything this week to the bugay?
Yeah. Well,
did you? Did you now?
Not to the buggy, no.
Okay. But you did off-road thingies? Did you web wheel?
No, not really.
Okay.
I ordered my fuel tank off of eBay.
Oh, you found something for the trailer.
I found it like 2 weeks ago.
This is the one you were This is the one you like, not lowballed, but you like.
Oh no, I lowballed.
You sent him the offer you thought you should buy it for.
Yeah.
And then he said no.
Yep.
And then you offered him again.
Yep.
And he said no.
Yep.
And then
keep going.
You offered again.
Yep.
And he said no.
Yep.
And you're out of offers.
Nope.
Oh, damn. Wow. Usually it's 3 offers and you're done.
It is.
Oh, okay. Then you messaged him.
Nope.
Then he messaged you.
Nope.
Then you went to another one of his listings.
Yep.
For the same item.
Yep.
But a different listing. And did again.
Yep.
Starting with the same first number.
Not a little bit higher, but not by much.
Then you did it again. Then again.
What are we up to? 5?
At least 5.
Yep.
Did you max out your 3 on this one?
Yep.
Did you end higher than you did on the first one?
Nope.
You ended at the same number.
Yeah, I just tried to get there a different route. You know what I mean? Same end goal.
Wait, hold
just
on.
a different train.
Did you offer him the 3 chickens and the goat?
No, that's not an option on eBay. Otherwise, he probably would have took it.
I would imagine, yeah.
He's from Michigan.
Be a solid deal.
But then, I think that's a shiv. I think we just shivved you with a shank because a word is not a stabbing.
I don't think we just shanked you with a
Please
knife.
refer to the previous 24 minutes of clusterfuckery. That's how that whole thing started. Okay.
Yes. That's how that went down.
Yeah. So turns out he has about 5 or 6 of these listed on eBay.
Okay. And you went through all
And they
of
all
them.
make an offer.
Uh-huh. So you made an offer on all 5 of them.
I only had to go to 3 of them before
All
I
right.
got it bought.
What did you end up, how far did you get him down?
You don't want to know.
Did you get him down a hundo?
No.
Not off his original?
No.
Did you get him down more than 5%?
Yes.
Okay. 7%.
More.
10%.
11.1%.
Is that what you got him down?
But I spent more than the original high offer on the first 2.
How does that work?
Well, so
Wait.
what had happened was...
Okay, so wait. You spent more with him
Yeah,
than the original high offer.
on the other 2.
Okay.
And they were all from the same person.
But the offer that he accepted on this particular one was lower than the high offer on the other 2.
No, it was higher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make sense.
It does. He actually sold it to you this time.
For more than the other one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. But less than the list price.
So he had most of them $200.
Okay.
Make an offer.
Yes.
So I started $100 each time.
Oh, God.
But I figured maybe he's in a bad mood or he's drunk one night and was like, okay, I'll sell the son of a bitch.
Uh-huh. You're hoping.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Must be a professional.
Did you tell him you were famous?
No.
Okay.
There's no option for notes in the like lowball offer.
Hey, I'm low-key famous.
I'm pretty much a doctor. So yeah, no, I've been doing this for about 2 weeks. Every couple days I'll throw him like $125. No, $150.
Okay.
Because he'd counter with like 180, and I'm like, bro, that's like $20 off. Like, come on now.
Uh-huh.
It's like, fuck it, I'll try it on another one. So we had, I think, 4 listings for $200, and one was $225. So today,
What was
I
the
was
difference?
looking at it. The difference is the $200 ones don't have the little like, it's like a
The
vent
thing, yeah.
plug,
Uh-huh.
which is whatever. You could just make something.
Uh-huh.
And this $225 one had the like factory vent thing.
Mhm.
Like the sending unit cord was all taped up real nice.
Oh,
like
shit.
it looked like the nicest one of the
Uh-huh.
group. Hence the $225
Extra
the
$25
increase.
for the tape.
So I played low ball, slid it in there.
At 125.
I think I started at 150
Oh, okay.
because he kept coming back. Like his highest price or his highest offer he would give me was 180. I'm like, all right, so he
That was
wants
the-
to like
that was the
knock like
lowest
$20 off.
Yeah.
So yeah, his lowest offer would be my highest offer that
Yeah.
received was 180.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, so that seems to be the sweet spot. So I started at 150.
Yeah.
No point.
Okay.
175. He countered at 180
Huh.
because he came back at 180.
Yeah.
So then I countered at 175
Uh-huh.
because it's $5.
Yeah.
He countered at 180. And I was like,
Holding strong.
no,
He's
hold
going
on.
to piss in this fuel tank before he sends it to you.
He countered
I hope
my
he does.
150. He countered at 200.
Oh.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then
You said 175.
I said 175, thinking he would be like, ooh, 180,
Uh-huh.
200. So I'm like,
Ooh.
clearly he's done.
Yeah.
And then I was like, So this is $20 more than the other one.
God, this is wonderful.
And I basically paid $20 for this factory vent looking thingy.
Okay.
And I paid for it. So I was like, fucking, I'm
You give him
done.
200?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So let me
Plus shipping. Shipping was a
let me-
motherfucker on that.
let me give you the like, let me show you the other perspective here.
Oh, I've been
The
on to make
listeners-
an offer and I'm
No.
insulted.
The listeners, the listeners' perspective. Okay.
Mhm.
I think it was 2 weeks ago we were in here, and you were like
It's been like 2 weeks.
upset with a guy for trying to message you and lowball you on an RC truck.
Yeah.
which
that.
is still sitting
Yeah,
here.
it's still here.
So apparently he didn't care for the 3 chickens and the goat.
No.
It's fun
Yeah.
that you were like pissed off at that guy for coming in low.
Oh, I was like,
and then you
really
like
pissed.
directly just turn around and do it to this guy on eBay.
He over 50% half me.
Oh yeah, he cut you off at the ankles.
Like
he
I
didn't
was
give you no
asking 3.
kneecaps.
He came out at hundo.
No, it was a 50.
50. Oh,
50.
my
He wanted to
God.
give you 50 for it.
And so this guy wanted 200 and I started at hundo. Plus I was going to pay his shipping,
yeah.
which I think his shipping price is a little inflated anyway. Not a fucking doctor, so I don't know. I've got people in that department that are checking on it for me, but I've already committed to his overpriced shipping. How much?
Great.
Okay, so it's 60.
So is this thing like ideal for the setup you're looking for?
Oh,
like,
dude.
it was the perfect.
It's literally...
Is it aluminum?
First of all, it's steel.
It's steel. Okay.
It's a steel certified, like, serial numbered tank.
Damn.
It's literally like... This is what it is.
So who's ready to hear about off-road? Oh, fuck, that's so
It's
nice.
literally like 4 toy haulers and shit for off-road.
Dude, that thing is huge.
30 gallons.
Yeah.
60 by 20 by 6 metal.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think that should cost to ship to me from Michigan?
Oh, my God. Oh, it's probably going to cost you about $60 at least.
Yeah. See, that's what I would think.
Yeah. What was it, 110?
$121.90.
Could have drove that
I
motherfucker.
said...
Where was it at in Michigan?
Far enough away from people that I know that it wouldn't have been.
Are you sure? Because we
of
kind of know people all over Michigan.
It is. Go figure.
Where the fuck's it at? In the mitten? Up in the pinky?
No, it's down to the south.
Oh. Huh.
Southern
Interesting.
Michigan.
Southern. Because if there is a thing.
Yeah, well then. There's the bottom of everything. So I bought... Pull it back to
Is that an
off-road.
oxymoron? Like
think so.
Southern Michigan?
Southern Michigan? Explore Michigan today.
Like Southern Illinois, that kind of makes sense. Like I get that one. Well, yeah.
I mean, if you lived in Northern Michigan, I
know,
guess
yeah.
it's Southern Michigan.
It definitely is. It just sure sounds odd.
It's Canada.
Yeah. Southern Canada.
He'll get this joke. We were having a conversation earlier this week in a group message, and it was like, oh, I think I'm going to go to this event to show my support for our Canadian racers.
Uh-huh.
And somebody else commented that said, will they let you cross the border? And I'm like, well, it's in Michigan. Or no, it's in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
I think you missed the joke, but it's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, it was funny.
It's fine.
I was like, oh boy, it's a good inside joke. He'll get that one. So anyway, let me pull this back to off-road. Right. I ordered the proper, like legit toy hauler
tank,
underbody fuel tank for my off-road hauling trailer.
Just cost you a fortune.
It just cost me about twice what I think it should have. Clearly, I'm wrong because I mean, I couldn't find another one on the internet. Like, I went back and forth with this because this is literally exactly what I want. Size-wise, I measured it, 30 gallons, everything. Sending unit, like it has electric sending unit in it.
That's awesome. But like, how do you hook the gauge up?
I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out.
You just put a gauge in your box, I guess.
Yeah.
Be simple enough.
Yep.
Nice.
But like, that's what I mean. Like, it's literally perfect.
That's
like,
so
it's
awesome.
built for it. I don't have to fucking hack something together.
I love the idea
perfect.
of like you open the toolbox on the front of the nose.
Yep.
And like you look down and there's a gauge there and it's like, oh, it has that much in it.
Yep.
Like, wow.
Yep.
That's fucking fancy.
Yep.
Like, I'm bougie, but that's next level.
That's bougie.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted. I wanted literally that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to make some like half-ass like hillbilly stuff work.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, just don't be a cheap fuck. Buy once, cry 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to complain about it on this podcast.
Okay. Yeah, that seems
and
normal. He probably listens.
Boom. Now I have exactly what I want. I'm just out money.
I would love it so much if he was a listener.
Oh, he'd poop in the tank if he was. He'd poop it, tape her back up, and send it down the road.
He's going to pee in it for sure.
Yeah, I'm checking the serial number of that. It better be the nice one when I get it. Because I was like, this guy he knows who I am.
Yeah.
Like this asshole has sent like 8 offers over the last 2 weeks. But we were finally able to come to terms today.
To an agreement. You came to a price. Well, I'm glad you got a fuel tank on the way. That's pretty cool for the trailer. I'm going to definitely make use of that when we're out wheeling together.
I mean, what motherfucker's going to have a credit card swiper on it? Ding, ding.
Ting, ting.
I'm going to have the little
$4.20 a gallon.
Little dinger. I'll pump it. I'll spit shine your windshield and everything.
Oh, shit. I could have used you at the fucking park this weekend.
Oh, God.
Man, I needed one of those guys.
I need to get that done. But that pulls me back into what am I doing? I'm not doing anything to my buggy. Yeah. I'm literally going to do the radiator. I'm going to do gears, and I'm going to finish up some wiring.
Chop, motherfucker.
And that's really, honestly, about all I'm going to do before this season.
March?
Yeah.
Okay.
End of March is coming up. I do want to say something real quick while I have the mic.
As if you're going to give it away.
Yeah, we're like sitting here moving it back and forth like interview style.
While I have the mic.
The question has come up a lot. So I'm curious if we didn't make it clear or if people are just stupid.
Okay.
Like, do you know that full-size vehicles are welcome at Williams Hill for this event? Because it's an ATV park.
Oh.
But you can't normally bring your full-size rig, but you can for this event.
So wait, we can go wheeling?
You can wheel the park.
Oh.
Like, you're paying to get into the park.
Don't feel like, well, either one of two things. Either you didn't make that clear or I'm stupid.
Well, that's what I'd like to know.
I'm going to say 50-50.
Well, I'm leaning a little farther away from 50 on my behalf.
I don't remember you mentioning. But then again, sometimes when you're talking, I'm just kind of over here in la la land.
Yeah, well,
so, I mean, there's that as well. There are times I will go back and, while I'm editing the podcast, and I'll be listening to you say something like, oh, I sure didn't hear him say that in the podcast. Huh. Or I'll be listening to it and you'll be talking and I'll be talking.
Sounds like my wife.
I'm still trying to get shit out, but yet you're also talking. I don't know.
It happens.
Yeah. And then I'll miss what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, so
it's come up a few times in conversation on the internet.
Yeah. So the key is that we can at Williams. Wait, what was it?
Williams Hill.
Williams Hill is an ATV UTV park.
Usually. Yep. From what I understand.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then for this event, it's going to be open to full size.
Bring whatever you want.
God damn.
Ride the park.
Damn.
And you can drive your truck straight down to the race hill.
Bruh.
So
I'm excited a little bit, but at the same time, I'm like, how tight is that park going to be?
I have never been, so I cannot speak to that.
Right.
I know that like for example, at the Badlands, most of the ATV trails, no problem.
Yeah, not terrible
until they take out my window. But
when you get into the brush off of between Orange Trail and the dunes,
it starts getting tight.
It's tight. Like, and then like the hills, the whoosh, they like kind of like do the like slalom almost where the hills go up and down, and like the brush there is so tight. Like if you don't have doors on, you're getting smacked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
and that's what this might be. That I don't know. I've never been there, so I don't know.
I didn't do a damn thing to my rig this week except for clean it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, mine's in the garage and it's still dirty.
You wanna know a really nice, like something that feels nice?
Unloading your stuff and not having it broke.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, it is.
Well, see, I thought I had that last time.
Okay.
But like, what was nice was to load my stuff and being like, I did not do anything. I packed this fucker full of tools. Oh, you know what I did do?
Mm-hmm.
I went around the vehicle and I got to order some when I make some more money. I have to order some more of that Kill Mat sound deadener.
Yep.
But what I did do the night before was I went and spent about 2 hours with that. Remember I said I bought some of that black Right Stuff RTV?
Yep.
For my bead locks.
Mm-hmm.
I spent the rest of that tube on the body going around filling every little hole.
So you mud proofed it?
I didn't mud proof it. I exhaust proofed it.
Oh, that deal.
Because I was getting exhaust in the vehicle, like driving around town.
I do remember
I would smell it. And like at the Badlands, I had a pretty bad. I know what the real issue is. Right underneath my seat.
Yep.
I cut a notch in the floor so that the transfer case could come up, and I never welded that back shut.
Oh yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, well, and so there's a pretty good hole there. So if the wind is blowing the exhaust back underneath the chassis, like underneath the body, it's going up into the trans tunnel and then coming up in through there. So I sealed all that up, but there were a bunch of other little spots, just little bitty things here, there, and everywhere. Man, I had a flashlight and I was just shining underneath the rig the whole time. Like I'd walk around on, like I was looking inside.
At night.
It wasn't. It was in the garage.
Yeah.
So like I was looking inside the rig and I had a flashlight underneath the rig, shining it all along the frame rail and stuff. And so I sealed up, a lot. Not that there was a ton of holes, but there was like little spots here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the way that body is constructed, the floor pan seals to the body, the side of the body. And so like there's back by underneath the rear seat, like there's a little seam right there where the seam seal has broken away.
Oh, really?
Over time. It's got a little bit of rust.
Yeah.
So it's starting to like break away. So I just took and just slick that down with the
mood in there.
So somebody posted on the trail on one of the groups, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody posted a tube of urethane caulk that they were like, this right here is a great substitute, a really cheap substitute for a seam sealer. And I don't remember if it was on Snapchat.
You're on too many platforms.
Yep. I feel like it was on Snapchat. It might have been Chris DeFord, but I don't remember.
Hopefully somebody reaches out.
Somebody will, or I will reach out. But either way, nonetheless, I'm going to go find out what that was and go get me a few tubes of it because it's not a bad idea to have it.
I know 3M makes window weld.
Right.
And boy, that shit is legit.
When it sets up, it's just rubber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's sticky. Like
That's
it's stick to everything.
My hands were black.
But it's like $20-some a tube.
I still have it underneath my fingernails.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Because I was
weld,
smoozing around.
it's like literally welds in fucking glass.
Nice.
So
That's what I need in my life.
I'll prep it with, they make a prep that's it's essentially fucking brake cleaner, I think, without the corrosiveness of eating your paint. But I just prep it with that. Usually on equipment, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I take a die grinder. Well, I got one of those like DeWalt, like it's got the blade that jiggles back and forth. Works great for cutting out urethane on a broken window. Yep. So I cut it out, take a die grinder with like a little like Brillo pad looking thing.
Right.
Little whirly wheel, and then knock it down, and I take a little paint off there, a little everything, and then just kind of and then just fucking caulk that window weld on there and tape it in. But
there's a guy.
Oh, that shit. You get it on your hands, but it's expensive as shit.
Well, see, I don't want that. Yeah, that's too much.
That's what I mean. Like, it's great stuff, but it's like $20-some a caulking tube, and it's like, oh my God.
Kind of steep. Not bad. I think I paid like 20. I paid almost 30 for that RTV.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not cheap. Yeah, I paid good money for that.
But
it was just sitting on the shelf. I'm like, if it sits here too much longer, it's just going to go bad.
Might as well use it.
So I did. I put her to work. There's a guy on TikTok that does videos as a glass guy. And he's got like, he cuts the tip of the caulk, like the tip on the caulk gun or whatever.
Yep.
He cuts it and it's like, it's a hole here and then it like cuts back at an angle. So when you lay it down, it's like, it stands up like a wall, like half, 3/4 of an inch tall of that window urethane.
Yep.
And like when he caulks around a window, it looks like a seal just standing there.
Interesting.
Isn't that cool? Yeah. And like he'll pick it up and like stick it in there. Like it's cool though because like he like lays it down and it's like just like it looks like somebody put an actual seal on the window.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? It's cool looking. Yeah. I don't
know.
I'm
gonna have to get creative with my tip cutting.
Yeah, I don't know how he does that or if they come that or if like you can buy them. I don't know. But either way, it's pretty cool. Those glass guys that do it professionally do some cool stuff.
Oh, dude. When I did when I had Chris come do my windshield, I was going to go to Harbor Freight and buy the like kit and shit. So he shows up. I open the garage door and I'm like, here's the cab. Just need that out and that out. We saving the back window? Nope. We're saving the window. Well, the windshield was fucked. So he's like, am I throwing those away? I was like, I can throw them in the dumpster. He's like, I can throw them in the dumpster. So I was like, well, sure.
Yep.
And then I went inside. It was my lunch break. So I went inside, whipped up a little like turkey and mayo sandwich.
Walked back outside.
And damn, he's carrying a windshield out the garage. I'm like, well, now what in the hell? Like,
just 7
minutes.
You
made that so easy. Like, that was the back window. Cause then I remembered to watch him do the windshield because he used some like Sawzall with a fucking thing on the end of it. And I was like, well, that's a fancy fucking tool. Like, it was the most like,
how he does that
job shit looking tool,
did he break the windshield anymore?
No. I'm like, he knew where to cut, do this stuff, and I'm like, Jesus, how do
you put a Sawzall against a windshield and not break it?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I mean, like, it was a freaking art.
Yeah, watching Chris work is pretty fun, but he's been doing it for like, gotta be knocking on 25 years.
So the best part with the whole experience, he comes back to put it in,
and you're an asshole.
I forgot to call him before I put the cab back on.
Yes.
So the cab's on with the like C-pillar thing, which is behind the cab. So it's super tight.
The cage is like almost touching the body.
It rubs the
I don't know
body
how he got that in there.
Spots. So he had his son with him.
Yeah. Thank God.
And all that. So he brought him to help and do the windshield and do the back glass and all that. And they glued the back window in. And they did their thing. And I mean, like, it took them, like, they said that it was like, we're a little tough. And it sure the fuck didn't look like it for me. And I'm not some dough dick that, like, how did you do that? Like, I know the process. I get it. I'm just not a professional.
Right.
So, like, that's the art, though. When you're good at what you do, it looks easy. Boy, it looked easy as shit.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I'm sorry. We got a little urethane on the
on the paint.
I was like, bro, it's because we had just talked about like Raptor liner
Yeah.
and all that. I'm like, he's like, oh, we got a little urethane on that. I said, dude, I don't fucking care.
I'm gonna get a little tree and a rock on
And
that.
he's like, oh, it's a little spot. It's, it's not, it's just
not great.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he was like,
Yeah. Sorry.
wasn't bothered by it, but he was like, my bad.
That was less than
like,
his standard.
So I look at it, dude. I swear to God, you put like you dipped your pinky, like the tip of your pinky, and then went like, doop, and a little swoosh. And I'm like, but that's where's the like?
Where's
I
the one?
expect like caulk tube explosion, like just shit everywhere.
Like we had it on the window and we just slid it down the cab and the whole top of the cab
like
was just
what
covered.
I would do if I was gonna do like, oh yeah, I got this shit everywhere. Yeah, there's a little spot. And he's like, oh, that would probably. He said it would probably, when it sets up, you could probably just peel it off. I'm like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like, damn, bro. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, I love it. So, you ready to get into the main topic?
Yeah, I would.
How many minutes are we into this already?
36.
Oh, I was thinking 35.
35.
Wasn't bad.
47, but I mean, I rounded up to fuck you.
Yeah.
Just a spite. But yeah, that's
Cool.
all I got. I mean, I know you got some things of what
some
you did,
talk.
but I'm hopefully. So let me ask you this, because
Okay.
I'd like to pose this question without an answer,
Right.
but hope that somebody's going to answer my question. My new research project is how do you mount this tank up under your trailer?
Steel straps.
Like I'm going to use a steel strap with a piece of rubber.
Mhm.
They make like the strap kits, but then like, what do you put? Like, what's on the top, like to hold it down? Anything?
The floor?
But I don't want it flush mount because you saw the tank. It's got like the vents and shit on the top, so like I can't put that like solidly up in there. So do you just build like a little cross member?
You could do
Because the cross members run this way.
Yeah,
I was thinking about welding just a cross member and a cross member, and then put a little piece of rubber and then just push it up and pull the
right. I wonder if you could find some.
Pull it up.
I wonder if you could find some square rubber that you could literally just put up there, like 2 inch by 2, or like 1 inch by
like
1
a
inch,
block of
whatever.
it.
Yeah, like a block. Yeah.
I'm thinking
Or
like that square foam.
You're gonna have to first thing you have to do. Wait, when the tank gets here, you have to measure how far it is to the filler.
Yeah.
So is there a filler on it?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you need to
Here,
punch a
I
hole
got
in the
the
floor for
picture
the
still up.
filler. Is that right?
So I haven't decided yet, but
Okay.
yeah, pretty much. I think I'm going to do a little trap door
Yeah.
that you just lift up
Mhm.
and then the filler's right there.
Okay.
Kind of like an inset
Right.
bed concept.
Yeah.
But
This
Yeah.
is not getting mounted until spring.
no, it's going to get, it's
so
gotta get
this
done.
big thing here. Oh, so this is the filler, and then there's 2 vents.
Yep.
So the one is the filler vent, and the other one's just tank vent.
Just tank vent and
Okay.
then the sending units in
Okay.
the middle.
So your tallest thing on there is literally the filler.
yeah. But
And
I think
so-
I'm going to cut that. Because it comes up at 90 degrees.
like immediately.
And I think I'm going to cut that and
Mhm.
either make it straight up
yeah.
or 90, to be like, because I
Yeah.
don't think I want like an S bend. So I think I'm going
See,
to cut that and
what I
just
think-
bring it straight up.
What I think would be cool is to order the filler cap that you would put into like a boat tank.
Yeah.
And it's got like 6 or 8 screws around it, and you flip up the handle and then turn it and unlocks.
Yep.
Like put that in the floor,
Yep.
and then when you unlock it, there's your filler neck.
I just want something that's not going to get like if you just slide something across the floor. Like
Oh,
I
you
want
want
it to
to not
be
get
full.
caught.
Yeah. Because I'm like, if you hold like a pallet of stuff, right, you
Mhm.
should be like, oh, don't hit my filler neck. You know,
well, it's gonna be so close to the front of the trailer.
I know.
But I get what
But
you're
I
saying.
don't know.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I thought about getting something like that and just
You could
you just recess it into the
Yep,
floor.
that's what I was just thinking.
And then you just flip it up and it's literally right under the, then
Yeah.
you would take the cap off
God,
and
that'd
it'd
be
be,
beautiful.
yeah.
Everybody be just like scratching their head, like, why is there a tank thing in your floor?
because I'm hauling 30 G's of gasoline.
Because, baby, we're going to wheel to some bitch. We're planning on putting her on the floor when we lead it off the trailer and not bringing it off the floor until it's out of fuel.
And then the generator's going to be going with the air conditioning. Yeah, because I like camping.
Nice.
I saw a thing real quick. It was a meme that was like, is it considered camping if your RV has 2 beds and 3 baths? Or
Yes.
no, 3 bedrooms and 2
2
baths.
bathrooms.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, it just means you're doing camping right. I know that'll piss a couple people off.
Yeah, right. So,
So that's my goal.
nice. That's a good. I like that. That'd be cool.
So you capitalized on the last day.
Well, so here's the deal. I capitalized on the last day of that, but yet when I got home on Saturday, like Sunday, I sent a message to the crawler folk.
Yep.
And had to tell them that I wasn't going to make it to Snowfari.
Did he guilt trip you into changing your mind?
No, they all completely understood the situation. I told them very, very clearly. I said, here's the deal. If I go wheeling 3 times in January without my wife, I'm probably going to get served divorce papers.
That's fine.
So
you can drive those away in the XJ.
In an attempt not to lose the wife that funds all my hobbies.
Yes. Gotta keep mama happy.
I have to decline. And on top of that, even though I'm pretty sure it would be an easy do, I would have to borrow the F-250 yet again. Though I'm pretty sure it would be just a phone call of like, need to borrow that.
So here's what I'd like to say on that topic.
Just keep borrowing it until
I
he gives it to you.
have been a professional technician now
Yes.
for almost 11 years.
Okay.
And I have always heard this saying, and I've always tried to live with this saying.
I know where this is going.
You borrow a tool once. Cool. You borrow it twice. Third time,
yep,
you better own it. And I tried to build my, like guys will start out in the industry and it's like, how do you know what to buy other than just going on like the tool truck and just blowing your paycheck?
Right.
That's how.
If you need to use it more than 3 times. If I got to
borrow it twice, I'm going to buy it next week on the tool truck.
It's a good reason.
Where the fuck ever. But
let me just go ahead and I'm head to the dealership and get me one now because I've already borrowed it twice.
I'm just saying, you borrowed it twice. I'm literally just saying.
I do have a tow pig. It just currently is inoperable.
Okay, but see, I don't think that works.
Why?
Because I borrow a screwdriver.
Yes.
Twice.
Yes.
Okay. I borrow a wrench 3 times.
All right.
Now I should own that wrench.
Right.
But it's a tool. So it's a screwdriver and a wrench, 2 different tools.
Yes.
So you own one tool. The F-250 is another tool.
Oh.
You haven't used your tool. You haven't had to borrow a replacement for your tool.
I have.
3 times.
No. I think I only borrowed Matt's truck once.
But see, so you still got another free one. The F-250, you're due.
Yeah.
That's how that works. You're obligated to buy it now.
I see where you're going with this. Yes.
I mean, it's terrible for your credit. It's terrible for your life. It's terrible for everything. But, I mean, by saying of the saying,
all I can tell you is if I tell everybody else every other customer I have,
yep,
if I tell them to go elsewhere,
yep,
and only do skillets,
yep,
5 days a week, I can make that truck payment with ease.
So you should just do
skillets.
Skillet shine. I don't hate
skillet shine.
Yeah.
I don't hate it either. Not
Sunny
bad.
side up.
Sunny side skillet shine.
An omelet.
Ew. Okay, so
I passed a guy on the interstate earlier this week because I was coming home.
We're never getting to this story.
No.
That's fine.
He was hauling 2 look like new tires.
Yeah.
On like semi wheels,
and
they were shiny AF.
Oh, you passed Travis.
What did that? Was that
black
you?
GMC? Yeah.
With like a bed cover.
Yep.
Was that your work? It looked very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
I passed him going out the interstate and I was like, God damn, those are shiny. And I was like, I wonder if Steve got like those are fresh.
So those were chrome.
Okay.
So I didn't know this.
Hold on. This was at night.
This was at night.
This wasn't even during the damn day.
Yeah, because he left my house at 4.
Yeah. He was headed.
And then he went to Menards. So
he was headed west on 74.
Yeah.
He was probably, when was that? What day was that?
Sunday. Yesterday.
Yeah. We were coming back from Harbor Freight.
Oh, there you go.
That's what it was.
Yep, he was headed Menards. Okay. So.
No, maybe it was in the daylight then.
Barely.
Okay.
It was
shitty light conditions.
Yeah, it was definitely
shitty
light conditions.
And I was still like, damn, but like his truck was clean too. So I was like, maybe he's just a really clean, like anal, meticulous guy about keeping his shit clean. I was like, no, them wheels are like, damn.
Fresh.
I think that's hilarious that you.
Yeah, those are definitely, those were the bane of my existence.
Well, they they look good at 75 mile an hour.
If it makes you feel any better. If it is any consolation to that.
Okay.
I've had those wheels for 11 months.
Well, they look good. They've aged well.
Did they look 11 months old? Good.
Well, they looked fresh. Like
They
they looked
were
like
fresh.
he was running home to get them thrown on the truck before the got a snowflake on him.
He's already got a set of polished wheels on the truck. But that I did.
Yep.
These are his second set. He didn't care for the truck the wheels that were on there. I didn't take a picture of those wheels when we mounted them. Boy, they did look good though.
Well, because the thing that helped it was the tire. Were those new tires?
Yep, brand new tires.
Yeah, because see, like the tire was clean.
This is the chrome wheel next to the polished wheel. Can you tell which one's which? Which one is the chrome wheel?
The one on the right is the chrome wheel.
The one on the left is the chrome wheel. The one on the right is freshly polished.
Interesting.
So the reason you see that there's a slight difference in color, when you have those outside in the daylight, they look almost black. Like they look like black chrome.
And that's a chrome wheel?
That is a painted chrome, essentially. It's like a process. It is actually a chrome, but it's over like a paint. It's weird. All I can say is they were a bitch to polish.
Well, I'm about to purchase some Alcoas.
Are you?
I think.
Why would you make a terrible decision such as that?
Well, because I need shiny wheels.
I do not have a picture of that wheel destroyed. I have a video of it destroyed.
Before.
I do. I have like a video of it destroyed. And I got some other ones when I did that first wheel, but I had 12 hours in those wheels trying to strip them. I stripped them with 100 grit sandpaper.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
So they were roached.
They were chrome.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I got done sanding them, they were 100 grit scratch.
Yeah.
Like, they were bad.
Yeah, well, you got to polish that out. That's the thing. Like,
that was the thing. But yeah, so pretty sure that when they do the process, they sandblasted the wheel first, and I had to go get to the bottom of the sandblasting.
Oh, God.
So that's why I had to get so rough.
So I had to get deep in her.
And then they had like a really thick, like 5 or 6 coat or some shit epoxy primer. And that epoxy primer is like plastic. So when I was trying to take off the wheel, it would just move around the wheel.
Oh, that's kind of odd.
Oh, it's a real bitch. I think I got a 13-minute video of me stripping. It took an hour just to strip the face.
Jesus.
So anyway, nonetheless,
so yes, that was a bad wheel.
No, they're great wheel. No, he had that done. So he bought brand new Alcoas and then sent them off to be chromed for low maintenance.
Oh. Then
they started chipping and they didn't match his rear wheels. So then he was like, "Hey, can you strip these or should I just go buy new ones?" And I was like, "Oh, I can strip them." Dumb idea on my part.
Well, I was
never
looking
again will I ever
at
do that.
some. Well, they have polish or they have chrome. I think they have both. One was like significantly higher price. Well, that just literally went
Here we go again.
What is like? Okay,
didn't the other beer from Brad do that?
Did he fuck with our beers?
I don't know.
Like, did he put a little something in there?
Listen, Brad,
stop fucking up beer.
You do that one more time, I'm coming to get your truck. You hear me?
Why would you want that 800,000 mile beautiful showroom condition shit box? Like,
steal that motherfucker. Hey, you think we should talk about the off-road trip from this weekend?
Well, I got we got like an hour and a half left to talk about.
Time. We've got nothing but time.
So I want to ask you this question.
Okay, so go ahead and ask me.
But I got to pull up the web page.
Yep.
So they have polished. So it's an AccuRide 19.5 high polish both sides. What? So like, why would I not want that?
What are you doing? What are you trying to buy wheels for?
The work truck.
Oh, okay. 19.5s?
Yeah.
And
like
they're
that.
And you said they're AccuRides?
These are AccuRides.
That's fine.
Those are a nice wheel.
It's fine. Yeah.
High polish both sides.
Sounds good to me.
Are you going to see those and get like triggered that they're shitty?
Yes. Because their high polish and my high polish are completely different.
But they'll look good on a work truck?
Yep.
Okay.
They'll look fine.
Well, they're like $1,500.
Is work buying them?
Yeah.
Nice.
I ain't buying wheels for the work truck. Hell no. But okay, here's a quick story.
Yeah.
Lost a simulator. The guy that had the truck before me thought simulators were a good idea, which they're not. Like a brick is a better idea than a simulator. Right. I feel like as a polisher, you probably get insulted with simulators.
No, they're fun.
Ugh.
It just is what it is.
God, you're triggered. I can tell. Rightfully so, though.
Yeah, yeah.
So I left it alone because I'm like, I'm not going to go full like Ian on this truck. Simulator fell off the other day, and I don't know where it is. Like the center cap and everything fell off as they do. So then I'm like rolling around in fucking one baby blue steel wheel with the one
interesting.
simulator.
Baby blue.
It's like it's not a gray. It's like a baby. You'll have to look at it.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like a baby blue. Like if it was gray, it
I guess
fine.
I just thought all the wheels were gray. I didn't realize that they had semis on them.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. So you
That's
lose
how
a simulator.
shiny they were.
Yeah. So you lose a simulator
in the rear, and then the front still has a simulator, which is kind of
Right.
half-ass shiny after it rained and I washed the truck.
Right.
So I'm like, boy, what do you do? Because I'm sure the fuck not spending $1 of anybody's money on another simulator.
Right.
Those are fucking expensive, by the way.
Yes, they are. They're almost like buying wheels.
Yeah. I'm like, what were those?
Were
Like
they 300?
$500?
Oh, 500
Yeah.
for a set?
Yeah.
Okay.
These have the like pop out fucking things
Mhm.
for the lockout. And I'm like, what the fuck? Get this shit out of here. Because you leave it off anyway. Because I'm like, I'm not fucking with a center cap when I'm stuck in a shit.
Right.
So now I'm on this, like, do you know how bad of an image this portrays?
Oh, yeah,
Not
missing.
having aluminum wheels
Yeah.
on this
Agreed.
truck.
Yep.
And I need tires.
Needs to be a show truck.
I use the phrase hashtag work trucks can be sexy.
Oh, yes.
I sent that to
You
my
sent
mom.
that.
Oh, yeah.
And that sold him? Maybe.
It's close.
He's trying.
Well, so I need
do you
tires.
need to make, how many offers are you going to give him before he takes
Oh,
it?
it's works money. We're just going to buy it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to be up his ass.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be that like pesky gnat that won't go away. So you finally just ignore it and you're like, I'm just fine with these flies.
Okay. Yeah.
Boom. Out
Wheels.
goes.
Uh-huh.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Some kind of shiny
Wheels.
aluminum wheel.
Right.
But I need tires. So I'm
Mhm.
like, it makes sense to
The
go
right time.
get new tires, put them on the wheels. I'll swap them onto the truck. Like, I'll
Yeah.
take care of the labor for you.
The only real issue with that is that you can't rotate.
I don't
Do
need
you
to.
have drives and steers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So why do you need to rotate them?
Inside, outside will be the only rotation at that
Fuck
point.
'em. You just put new tires on it.
Yep.
We got an account
It
with
weighs,
fucking tire store.
it weighs like 20,000 pounds. Who
Yeah,
cares?
they're gonna fucking blow out.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have another thing for you. Don't let me forget weight.
let me write it down.
Weight. That kind of weight. Got it.
So that's all I've
God,
got.
look at that perfection. He just drew a circle around weight and it looks just like the fucking logo for Total
It
Offer
actually
Podcast.
has the same.
Oh yeah, it's the same. I mean,
So I was about half drunk when we came up with that one night.
it
Were
seems
we-
to have stuck.
Were we drinking that night?
I don't remember.
I'm sure we were.
It's early on. Anyhow,
So you went wheeling.
I went wheeling. Okay, so so I took a advantage of the last wheeling weekend of the Cliffs. So now we're into the main topic.
Which is where? Let's get a little backstory on the Cliffs for those who don't know.
The Cliffs insane terrain in Marseilles, Illinois started back in, I think, the year 2000, or right in that ballpark, right about 20 years ago.
Okay.
21 years ago, something like that. Either way, it's around that era that it got started. I do not know the full history because this is my first time ever going.
Yeah.
But I have learned quite a bit, and I'm very upset that it's closing.
Well, the thing with the
two
Cliffs,
full-size rigs.
Yeah, the thing with the Cliffs is it's what'd you say? It was 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
So it's always like
It's close.
super close.
But
so
it's a small
talked
part.
about a lot.
Yeah,
but
but
it's always been this small,
Muddy.
meh.
Yep.
It has a stick.
So, and so my buddy Matt that we talked about a lot in the early episodes.
Yep.
He went there back in 2010, maybe somewhere in there, 2009, 2010 in his TJ.
Okay.
He went there. It was summertime.
Yep.
Took a trip without me. I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't going wheeling. And, he was like, yeah, just a mud hole. Like I was stuck the whole day. Just was terrible. He was open on 33s. Okay.
Yep.
So a different world than what we live now. But I can definitely see why he would have been in that situation.
Yep.
Because that park goes from mild to wild in like the flip of a switch.
Wow.
Like you make the wrong right turn and now you have landed yourself in like death row. Which is cool.
Sounds good when you're
It's fun.
When
Yeah,
you're
like-
built AF.
Yeah, when you're built AF and you just flip. Oh man, my buddy James. So James, I've taken him wheeling with me a few times in Liberty.
Yep.
But he's never gotten to go in the
And
XJ.
something built AF.
Yeah. And so,
Can you push that button for me?
yeah, we're sitting there cruising around and I go up a hill that's a little bit muddy. Like it's kind of steep. It's got two little stair steps in it. It's
Yeah.
probably 20 feet tall or so. And I reach down and click and just drive up this hill. And he's like, "Are your lockers air?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "That's badass."
Well, thank you.
I was like,
I thought so
yeah.
too.
I was like, "Yeah." So when I unlock those two buttons, like when I unlocked the lockers, I said, we're basically just driving the stock rig again. I was like, and then when I lock them in, it's like having spools front and rear. He's like, that is the only way to go. I'm like, yeah. Minus the whole financial
to my financial planner, because
minus the financial investment. I mean, in reality, I came out really well on that deal when I bought them. But I bought them very right.
It goes back to the buy once, cry twice. We were talked about it right here at this table.
Oh yeah,
about like, oh my god, I can't believe I spend this money. Yeah. And now it's like,
it's gone.
Because it's the right way to go.
Oh
just
man,
because it's not the cheapest.
So wonderful. Either way,
buy once, cry 2 or 3, 4 times.
It was wonderful. I was very nervous. Every person that was pulling to that park had TSLs or boggers or some tractor tires.
It's a mud hole.
Right. And I'm here on these fucking Coopers and I'm like, oh boy.
Legitimate tires on an off-road rig. And you're like, well, fuck me. I'm going to go steal some tractor tires down the road.
I literally was telling them, I think I brought the wrong tires. I was like, I should have put my 38s on. But I will say this much. I was at 5 PSI.
Yep.
And I tiptoed around that park like no problem. Like I didn't slip. I didn't slide. Like it was wonderful. Like it was icy. So everything. So the top like inch and a half was loose. And then everything under that was frozen.
Pretty much solid.
Terra firma. It was frozen. And so like Kenny was having a hell of a time because he's locked or like welded in the rear.
Yep.
Open up front. But for the most part, you're spinning all 4 tires.
Uh-huh.
There was one time, I have a video of it. He is all 4 tires. This thing's got a V8 swap Comanche. He's got all 4 tires just singing. And I think it's in 4 high. Yeah, it's in 4 high because it wasn't able to shift into 4 low, I don't think. And so he's in 4 high, all 4 tires singing, going forward and drive. And he is rolling backwards. And I'm just like, I just drove over that spot. Like literally, I'm like 5 minutes ago.
You fucked it up.
I just cruised over it. Like I didn't slip a tire, just drove up this hill. And he's down there just
going backwards.
TSL's just singing. Now, granted, he was aired up pretty high. He was like 20 PSI or something like that. Well, he couldn't go, no bead locks. They're like 34 1050s or something.
On an 8-inch wide wheel.
On like an 8-inch wide wheel.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to go too low, and then he said that
fire.
Yeah, and he said that the valve stems leaked air. So he's like, "Oh, they're at 20 now. They'll be at like 8 by the time we leave the park, so we'll be fine."
It's like NASCAR old days. They like poke holes in the tires with needles.
Really?
So they would, because air pressure builds up as you get the heat, and they'd call it bleeders. So they'd puncture the tire just to let some fucking doctor.
Yeah.
I just learned this not too long ago. Some engineer figured if you punctured the tire, like just literally punctured the tire at the right size, it would bleed off a certain amount of PSI.
At the right PSI.
Yeah.
So when it got above X, it would bleed that off.
Or it would either that or it would bleed it off so much in a certain amount of run time or something.
Right.
But so I figured so what they do now is they'll come and they'll randomly grab a set of tires out of off your car after a pit stop and they'll dunk them. They put them in the dunk tank, a tank of water, and they team of engineers stands there and watches for bubbles.
Really?
But how cool is that shit?
Huh.
So you could do that with your off-road rig. You just get some shitty valve stems and start bleeding pressure off.
Right.
And about the time you start getting ballsy at the end of the day, she's aired down and she's ready to eat. Or the tire goes flat, whatever.
So let me try to do this in chronological-ish order. So the night before, I prepped everything, packed all my tools, got the Jeep clean, got everything repacked, just made sure everything was in its home where it needed to be, blah, blah, blah. Tools and all that and stuff on board.
Tow rig hooked up.
Tow rig was hooked up. Jeep was loaded about 11 o'clock, strapped. Everything was good to go. Joe Zumpf was talking about being a co-pilot.
Yep.
And so I messaged him earlier on in the night. I'm like, hey, you still on for being a co-pilot? And he apparently messed his back up to some extent.
Well, that's some furniture.
Good. And so he's like, yeah, I don't think a trip to the off-road park in the passenger seat is the greatest thing for my back right now. I said, that's not a problem.
Probably makes sense.
So I called my buddy James, who was going to go with us on the hangover run. But because of the ice and everything else, that just got all foobarred and didn't end up going. So I called him up and I was like, well, kind of late. It's like 9:30 at night. I said, kind of late notice, but you want to go 4-wheeling in the morning? And he's like,
fuck yeah.
What time are we leaving? And I was like, 6:30 or 7. He goes, all right, I'll be there. I was like, all right, cool. So James, my buddy James, went with me, and so I picked him up. We headed up north. It was kind of snowing, nothing serious, just a little snow. Truck pulled phenomenally. We arrived at the park about 9:30.
What time were you planning on getting there?
About 9.
Oh, so you're not bad.
Not terrible.
You're getting better. 2021's your year,
yeah,
bud.
2021 is my year.
Fucking
It's my year. Yeah, we got there about 9:30. We had to make. We made 2 pit stops. The first one was for fuel and food at the Casey's up there north on 40. So you take 47 north.
Okay.
We went up through Strom and
Strawn.
Yeah, went through Strom.
That's where we went for my bachelor party.
Yep,
Not
yep.
bachelor party, rehearsal dinner.
Rehearsal dinner. Yep. I told him about that on the way back. I was like, "You see a little hole in the wall brick building?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "They got banging ass steaks."
Yep.
And we were up north of there. I think we stopped in Forest. We stopped in Forest at the Casey's.
There's a nice Casey's at the 4-way there.
We stopped there, got diesel fuel, got loaded.
You're getting close to my homeland.
I know.
There. You would have got on. If you'd have turned left there at the 4-way where you came up to and headed east, right to the house.
Headed east or west? That would be west. You want to go west?
You were going north.
And you turn.
I meant west.
Okay. I was like, if you turn left,
the other east.
The west.
Yes.
So anyway, we got fuel for both rigs there, and I wanted to get some, because we were getting assaulted by every vehicle that passed us with like their water spray, and it was just salty.
That shit sucks.
It sucks, yeah.
Yep.
And then on top of that, the windshield on that truck doesn't bead water for fuck all. Even I've waxed it 4 times.
Really?
Like I've car wash waxed it.
Oh, okay.
Just the hot wax.
Yep.
I needed something when we went to the hangover run. It literally would just be a lake on the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I was hoping to get some like Rain-X windshield washer fluid, and it wasn't any there. So we left out of there. I got some windshield washer fluid, some extra washer fluid just in case. Like, don't want to run out of that.
Yes.
Took off down the road, went to the next town up. I don't remember the name of it. There was a marathon or something there.
Yep.
Pulled in there, went inside to use the restroom, because as we're like pulling out of the case, he's like, "Damn it, I gotta piss."
I gotta pee.
So went to this next gas station up the road there, and they actually had some Rain-X, like not Rain-X brand, but like whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
It had the juice in it. So I got some of that, put that in there, whatever. Cruised onto the park, got there, got the rig unloaded, got aired down, got everything packed away. Kenny and the boys, like Kenny and everybody else showed up. So there's 4 of them that showed up. And we got signed in there, took care of all that stuff, got everything squared away, and then we headed off to the trails. And it's pretty cool. So similar to Badlands, you go in, you check in, $25 for the driver, $10 for the rider.
And they got a nice like shop and all that, like a pro shop.
There was stuff inside, but we signed in outside. So they had just a window, and you just do all that. And they said mask required to go inside. And like, there's a big building, so I assume, but we did not go inside. They also had food there, like a pretty good menu.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But we did not partake in the foods. But we left out of there. We went up the hill to the left of the office and went up that entrance. So you can leave the office and you can go to the left and go up a hill. You can go right and go to the creek.
Mud hole.
Nope, to the creek. Or you can go to the rock wall.
Yep.
There's like a rock wall that goes up.
Rocks there.
Huh?
There's a little rock there. 3 rocks.
3 rocks.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 rocks in the whole park. I managed to hit all of them.
Nice.
So anyway, we took off, went up that way. We went over to where that tire. Have you seen like the pictures of the tire obstacle?
Not really.
They got loader tires. There's like a whole mess of loader tires spread out that you can kind of crawl on and stuff like that.
Did you crawl on that?
I didn't.
I was gonna say like I've never
didn't
crawled
partake.
on
Well,
that,
there was a bunch of XJs. There was like a whole mess of dumpsters, like in that area.
I would have thought yours was like pulling that way though. Like, aren't they attracting each other?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went over and checked on them. Like, hey,
but
how's your dumpster?
How's crawling on loader
One of
tire?
them had the lid open on it, so like I had to go check on it.
Were they buried in the ground, or were
the
they
tires?
like
they're flat? Well, they were a little of both. I think. I want to say that.
Like, what
some
happens
of them,
when you get stuck in the wheel hole?
I think they got dirt in the middle a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah. So there's
very
that,
interesting.
and then there was a couple of cement truck barrels half buried.
Fuck.
It's kind of cool. So like they've been kind of fun to play on. I didn't play on it much. Like I said, there were some other guys that were there, and I was like, it was like the beginning of the day. I'm like, do I really want to break something like right out of the
Fucking
gate?
around on loader
Yeah,
tires.
fucking on motor tires. Like, I mean,
like yes,
seen the videos. Looks kind of cool. Anyway, so we
looks
bounced
real nice.
We bounced out of there and went over to Jimmy's Crack. Ran through next to So Jimmy's Crack there's a trail that goes right next to Jimmy's Crack, and you could kind of bypass it, I guess, so to speak. But we went around that, went over there, back around in the woods a little bit. So so Kenny shows up in his small block swapped Comanche that has an 8 1/4 welded and a Dana 30 on some 34s. So I'm like, all right. And then I can't remember the other kid's name, and I feel like a dick for it. I should have asked Kenny.
I can never remember people's names, so you're good.
Yeah. So so there was Kenny in the Comanche, and then Colin was riding with him. And then there was another guy in a XJ with some cylinders missing. And then there was Colin's little brother had an XJ. And then there was another fellow that had a extended cab, short bed. I think it was a GMC, but either way, GM pick 'em up truck, IFS, mostly stock. But that's the one I was telling you about that had the bed stack.
Hold on.
I need these people's names. I need to message Kenny.
You need to tell
and
the
get
people
some proper names. I feel like I'm not giving the proper names that need to be given here.
You need to tell the people about this truck.
Hold on. Let me get Kenny a message here, and then I will go on to that. So okay, I will try to do my best here. So the pickup truck is a white GMC.
Okay.
And hold on. Give me a pause marker for a second. All right, Kenny's sleeping. He won't tell me who the fucking names are. Well, and I don't feel like texting Colin. I could, but I didn't.
Fuck him.
Nonetheless, so the vehicles are...
I want to know about this exhaust pipe on the Chevrolet.
So it's got it was a downpipe from some vehicle.
The exhaust pipe was a downpipe. It has
the V-band clamp. It has the 90 with the V-band clamp.
Yep.
And it was the stack. But it had a muffler. So like it came through the bed floor, and then it had like a legit ass like diesel muffler. And then it had like the downpipe was like up in the 90 to a stack.
But it was a Chevy like...
It was a half-ton gasser.
Gas truck with a diesel downpipe and an exhaust muffler.
Oh, yeah.
Bed stack.
I want to say...
Was it as tall as the cab?
A little taller.
Oh my God.
Yes, wonderful.
So you can look at the front of this truck and see it over the top of the cab.
Yeah. And it was just like a stainless downpipe. So like it had that like... It wasn't rusty, but it was like that brown color. Oh yeah. 100%. Like I love it because someday it's going to be on like tons and like fucking boggers. It's going to be wonderful to look back. But that truck, he beat the piss out of that poor truck.
But that's what I always wanted to do is take an IFS truck and just beat the living piss out of it.
So he would have kept wheeling too, except for when he did something, I don't know what he did, but somehow he punched a hole in a radiator hose.
Huh.
So we went back and dropped it off at the trailer.
Run it?
Yeah. It wasn't very long either. Because we went through, there's this one spot where you had to go around a tree, and as you go around the tree, like there's a really deep rut right next to it. Man, he fell off the front tire in that rut and just matted it.
Oh,
and that truck just jumped, and it just looked like zoom, like wheels off the ground, like jumped out of this hole. Jeez. And I was like, yes, and like just singing off the limiter.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Wow.
That's the kind of party you want to be at.
Yeah.
It was a good time, nonetheless.
With your rig, yes. Yes.
So we went and dropped it off, and then after we got done dropping it off back at the trailer, we went back the other direction in the park and went down over that rock, went up that rock wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it had some snow on it, but it wasn't too bad. We went right up it. And we went back, and they took me to a trail called Carnage. Like as we enter the trail,
sounds like a good time.
Yeah, there's a sign on the thing that says Carnage, and so we go down this trail, and it's not very long. You're basically riding on rails because you're in the ruts, and the ruts are about 4 feet deep. So like you're in a valley, okay, like a 4 foot deep valley in the ruts. So you're kind of just you're just riding the rails. You can't get out of this.
Yeah.
And Kenny makes it through, and then the other XJ that was misfiring. I don't remember the kid's name. I should really message Colin so I know a name. But anyway, the guy in the gray XJ. Oh, here it is. what? Kenny gets back to me and tells me one person's name.
Well, that one person's all that's going to make the cut.
I assume it's the XJ. Oh, you ask for two people's name. He comes back and gives you one. It says, oh, sorry, LL. Jacob, he's my neighbor.
Okay.
Maybe the XJ, maybe the pickup.
Sure.
Nobody knows.
Sounds like a good time.
So anyway, that XJ, so Kenny and that XJ make it through down this thing. And then I come up to it and here's Kenny and he's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, what? He's like, it's not going to end well for your vehicle to go around that tree.
For yours?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So I try to go around this tree and the rut leans you into the tree. So you're high on the passenger side, low on the driver's side, pretty deep, probably they were deep ruts. I mean, the guys in front were on 33s, but they were dragging diff.
Ugh.
But the tree leans off at an angle. So your drip rail is going to be your leaning point, is like your contact point.
Yep.
But the angle of the tree was such that the first thing in my vehicle that was going to hit was the driver's mirror.
Oh boy.
Full contact, not like a touch, not like a skosh, not like you can just maybe kind of bump around it. No, just gonna clean her off.
Okay.
And so I try a few different times to try to so people have been able to get up around that tree.
Yeah.
I try a few times, try to get it out of this rut enough to get just that mirror around and I'd be fine. And that's not a thing. So I'm sitting there thinking about it for a second. I'm like,
take the mirror off.
Well, so this is the driver's side mirror is not a breakaway mirror. Okay. And so if you take the mirror off, it's going to destroy the door.
The door?
The door.
Oh, it'll break the mirror.
Oh, no. Oh, it will break the mirror.
Yeah.
But it will taco the door.
Fuck it.
The passenger door is a direct, you can see the passenger door is that. It mangles the sheet metal, breaks the surround around the quarter window. It just, it's not a great day.
Okay.
Yeah. The mirror is stronger than the sheet metal on the door.
Well, that's XJ life, I suppose.
That's 93 to 96 XJ life. Before 93, they had breakaway folding mirrors.
Yep.
And then 97, they came back with a new folding mirror.
Huh.
But in the meantime, they had a solid mounted mirror.
Yeah, you could roll it over and be
So I sat there, thought about it for a split second. I was like, I have an idea. And I looked at Colin and I said, hey. He's like, what? I was like, I think it was Colin. Either Colin or Jacob.
Guy
One of the guys. I was like, I think it was Colin. I was like, come here. I was like, can you get to me? And it's just snow, just a snow covered hill next to me. There's no trees. You just walk around to me. And it was a bit of an angle. So it was a little tough, but he's like, yeah, I can get to you. He comes over there and I open my door. I step out, step 1 foot out onto the embankment. I pick up on the door and I hand it to him. I just hand him the driver's door. Here, problem solved.
That's cheating.
So once I handed him the driver's door, I was able just to go around it, bumped off the passenger door and the drip rail a bit to go underneath the tree, but no big deal. Then now we're past that obstacle, right?
Put the door back on.
We got past the tree, right? We're good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, except for now we're into the worst part of this carnage trail. This was the gatekeeper was that tree.
The entrance.
Yeah. So Kenny goes to go straight so if I can try to explain this to you, I'm coming down this wash essentially.
Yep.
This wash dumps into another.
I saw a picture of this.
You probably did.
Yep.
This wash dumps into another wash. You basically tee into this other wash.
Yep.
And if you go to the left, you have to go under another tree.
Yep.
Which Kenny proved was not possible in our rigs.
Not an option.
Not even close. He just full on rammed it and crushed. He crushed the roof 6 or 8 inches.
Jesus.
Oh, dude, it tacoed the door frame.
Wow.
He gets out and grabs his hammer and just starts meleeing this thing back into position.
Oh my
and
Lord.
He gets done. I'm like, I can't even tell. It's fine.
He's experienced.
It's fixed. It's done.
That's a new level of shitbox wheeling.
The other guys the other actually in front of me, the guy is. So we already dropped the GM the IFS truck back of the trailer, right?
Thank God at this
so
point.
All we have with us are Kenny and his Comanche on 34s, Guy on 33s, and behind me is Trevor on 33s, in with a 2-inch lift.
Okay.
I'm on 40s. I'm the largest thing around.
Oh boy.
And so we drop into this tee, and if you go to the left like Kenny did, you're going to taco your entire roof.
Okay.
You're going to have a roadster.
You're going to lose the hood at that point,
If
I
you
would
go
imagine.
and they're looking at, yeah, it was pretty bad.
God,
So they are down there. They can see. I can't see. I'm still in this first wash. I can't see around the bank, the turn to see what the rest of it is. And I'm like, what's the deal? Like, just go that way. And like, oh man, those ruts are deep. Like you're going to need at least 40s.
I got those.
And I was like, all right, so it's an option.
Yeah.
And those guys are like, all right. So where I'm sitting looking at the T, essentially a T road.
Yep.
Okay. Right in front of that is like this smooth hill that goes up and some trees. And you can see there are tracks on this. And I'm looking at those tracks. I'm like, did somebody go up it?
Up that?
Or did somebody come sliding down it
in
the ravine? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh no, those are like brakes on sliding down the hill. So there's no going up this. Way too steep, way too slick.
Way too slick, yeah.
Yeah, no going up that. And so Guy has a winch on the front of his. I'm going to say it's Jacob. And so
at this point, you just make up a fucking name.
Right. Eugene.
I mean, I'm just going to make one up. I guess that's what you're going to go with, but.
Yeah. And the Silverado was. The guy in the Silverado was Daytona. So Jake was in the other shitbox XJ. Trevor had a green, not shitbox XJ yet. And then Daytona Fisher was in the Silverado. Anyway, so we... so Jake commences to winch up this hill. So he just winches. Kenny goes up there, attaches a winch to the tree. He winches up this hill. I turn down into this wash, and it is exactly as they described. It is a rutted out 40s or bigger, like, mess.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, well, locked in both lockers, just set it on the floor and just started down the trail. And so I go down a little ways and it turns and I go and I hit this rock obstacle in the middle of this nasty, muddy mess. We had a rock obstacle that I can't get over. It's like a rut or a rock. It's like a tree root or I don't know.
Don't call it a rock because there's probably no rock.
It was a mess. I don't know if it was a tree root because there was a tree right next to it. So I hit this thing a number of times before I finally get up over it. And I can feel when I come up over it, the front end drops to the other side. And I just like high center on whatever this is beneath
the root
me.
Ball.
Yeah, the root or the whatever.
Oh.
I high center on that, but I got enough momentum at this point that I'm still like going. So I go up over that. And Colin has video of me doing this. So then I go around another corner and I'm like, all right, maybe we're on the downhill slide here. And I go around another corner and this is all kind of uphill to a certain extent.
Yep.
And then it goes down 100 feet and turns again. And now the ruts are even deeper and I'm dragging my 44. So 13 inches of clearance and I'm dragging it through the mud, like through the center. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And I just keep hitting it. So it was a rut that threw you to the side and there was a tree there as well, but the tree wasn't going to cause any real damage.
Yeah.
And so I was able to hit that hard enough and fast enough to get through that. And then up a couple other little obstacles and stuff and through that and finally got out the other side. I was like, well, that was a good time. Like, because you're on rails, you're in a rut. It's like, it's not a big deal. So this is carnage.
You're not going to say you're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to drag it through.
Yeah. The worst case scenario, you're just going to get more damage. Like, that's just all there's to that. So we get through that and I get up on top of back onto solid ground out of the trail. And I end up having to go through 2 valleys to get over to where they're at.
Uh-huh.
Second valley, I can't get enough speed, like wheel speed, to take me to the top. I had to get down to the bottom. I back up the other side. I'm in the bottom and I back up and I just smash the gas. And we start rockets, run up the other side, man. We get right up to the top and there's like a 2-inch bump.
Oh, geez.
And I just hit that bump like, and I'm like all 4 tires, lockers, everything's engaged. I'm just wheeling, just spinning. And I end up putting in 4 high
just for more
wheel speed.
Yep.
And, still nothing.
Wow.
Hit that thing and just like it didn't dead stop, but like it just ran out of momentum.
LS swap.
Not quite enough steam. Boggers.
Tractor tires.
It was what the problem was is that that part of ground I was all covered in snow and frozen underneath. There was no mud, and I had no ruts either. So that was the other problem is like, I could have hit it even harder, but as you got up there to the top, there are no ruts. So if you start sliding off to the side, you're just going. Like, there's just open ground. So like, there's nothing to catch. So
there's not even like trees around there.
Not even like where I was at. There was no trees. So like, if you slid off to the side and you don't have any traction, you're going sideways back down that hill to the ravine you were just in.
Yeah.
Which could be a really fun trick.
Sounds like a good time.
That part was a little sketch, but it was all right. So I got up there close enough to the top. I hit the brakes. We were able to stay still. And I sent James out with the winch and a tree saver to go strap me on. I took
Whose products did you save today?
I can only half mention.
Oh, Jesus.
So the crawler, the strap, or the winch cable, winch rope is obviously a crawler rope. But the tree saver was an ARB. Because before we started this podcast...
Guess who's getting dropped off the sponsorship list, buddy?
I'm trying to think if I have a tree saver from them. I don't remember.
Me and Rick are in development stages of a new
You're gonna make that thing?
Tree saver.
You're going to make that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not.
The one you need.
Yeah, the one
you said you said you wanted.
Nobody builds, but somebody does because I found it on the internet.
A kinetic, 8-foot kinetic. No, a 6-foot kinetic.
A synthetic tree saver.
What is I don't understand. I don't know what you're saying.
It's an oversized soft shackle.
Yes.
So you would wrap this picture like an 8-foot soft shackle.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody does make that.
Yes.
I have seen it.
Crawler's about to start making it.
Nice.
Too.
I like it.
Right.
Okay.
Right, Rick? Looking directly at you.
Okay. So anyway, he gets that strapped off. We go over there. So now by this point, I get back over to where Jake and the XJ has winched himself up. And now he's turned around and pinned himself behind 2 trees that are like 2 feet apart.
Yep.
And he's got his winch cable down and he's pulling Kenny backwards up this hill. Okay. You follow me here?
Yes. You're pulling
we have a Comanche
backwards.
Going up the hill backwards.
Well, he couldn't get turned around, or
I guess he couldn't get turned around. That's my only thought. Or he didn't have a tow point on the front that was good enough. I don't know. But I didn't ask the question of why are we coming up the hill backwards. I just knew that we were coming up the hill backwards. And so he's winching up the hill backwards, and we're watching this go down. And I'm like getting this on TikTok. Like, this is good content.
Oh, well, fuck yeah,
okay?
It is.
So he's coming up the hill, and Kenny is pretty on the throttle, trying to like spin the tires coming up the hill, like trying to give it a hand. And I told Kenny, I hollered at him. I said, let off the throttle. I said, quit beating on the engine. I was like, just let the winch drag you up the hill. It's fine. It's got the 13,000 pound Amazon winch. It's got fine.
Plenty of ass.
And it wasn't even like, it didn't even sound like it was struggling. And so he lets off the throttle. Well, apparently I should not have told him to do that, because when he lets off the throttle, that takes the RPM down, which allows the fluids of the transmission to resettle themselves into the pan.
Yep.
And he's on a hill like this, like, so the nose is down. And this is, like I said, there's a pretty steep angle, probably a 45, 50 degrees. Like, it's a pretty steep hill that he's coming up backwards on. The dipstick's almost level. Like, the dipstick is like parallel with nature, with like life. Okay. It starts dumping trans fluid all over the manifold that has just been running at 3,000 RPM for 5 minutes.
Good God.
And all of a sudden we just see dripping fire just dripping from underneath this Comanche. And you hear somebody holler, we got a fire. We got a fire. I'm like, oh boy. And James, who's with me, is a volunteer firefighter. So he's like, all right. So he just scrambles on over there to see what's going on.
He's like, oh, pretty much a professional at this. No big deal.
He's like, oh yeah, my pager was just going off. I'll just head over here to check this one out instead.
Another day at work.
Yep. And so he goes over there. At this time, I run to my Jeep because I got 2 fire extinguishers in the back, right?
Yep.
So I grab my big boy and I take off over there. They've already got 1 fire extinguisher from somebody else's rig that they're.
So it's like, was it like big effing fire? Like,
it wasn't good.
So
imagine the manifold's on fire.
Yeah.
And the transmission is just pouring fuel on it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like, I figure it's going to be still, like, holy shit, that's on fire.
It's just still dumping hot trans fluid onto a hot manifold. It's just wonderful. It is everything you want.
The closest to that I've seen was this year at Flat Nasty.
Yeah.
When Bungie popped a fucking hole in the block and like
hot oil.
Boy, she was a big fireball.
This one wasn't
So that's what I'm like, because that was just not like a pouring.
When I grabbed my fire extinguisher, it was just literal fire falling from the engine. Like it was not a stream, but you could see like
the fluid was on fire.
Fire fluid. That's why I was like, I don't know, it's hot fluid on fire. And so I come run over with my fire extinguisher, and Kenny is in the process. If you look at this, if you stand back and look at this from a safety standpoint for a moment, this vehicle is on fire, being held by a winch on a 50-degree angle. Kenny's in front of it, trying to open the hood of a vehicle that's on fire.
On a hill.
It's wonderful. Like,
OSHA, cover your ears.
Oh, it gets better. It gets better. So,
but wait, there's more.
But wait, there is definitely more. So, so Kenny's rig's on fire. So I get there with my fire extinguisher, and I spray from underneath, trying to put the fire out from the bottom. And then they pop the hood, and when they pop the hood, now we can actually see where the fire's at.
Yeah.
And so James is standing next to me. He's like, up here, like we got the hood open, like in here. So I just stick it right there in the edge of the hood and just boom, just open it up. And it didn't take very long. That fire extinguisher did the job.
Need some fire aid.
That's the next thing for sure. I'm ordering 4 cans of fire aid.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
Because now corrosion is
happening. My God. The engine was white. The engine bay was nothing but white.
So much corrosion.
Yeah. I apologize to Kenny. And like, we're like sitting there talking about it. I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we got it out. That's good. I was like, why did we get fire extinguishers? The ground is covered in snow.
This is true.
I could have just grabbed a handful of snow and just thrown it on the engine.
Snuffed it out.
Yep. So we got the fire out, and that's what it was. It was transmission fluid dumping on it. It burned a hole in the air filter.
Oh, God.
Smoked a whole set of wires. And about the same time that this fire started, the truck died. And I'm like, oh, joy. Like, now we have dead weight on a hill. And so we end up assessing the situation. He's like, no, I think those wires are fine. Like, it's no big deal. They're a little crispy, but it'll be okay.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, it's fine. And Colin was saying that when the fire started, it was coming through the firewall. So the dash is out of that truck, and where the wire harness runs to the firewall, he's just got like a license plate. I don't think he did. He bought this truck mostly done. So there's like
mostly done is the word I would have probably used for that. But I mean, I get where you were going. But if you buy something that has a patch job on the firewall with the license plate,
it's fine. It looks fine to me.
Not mostly done.
So, but anyway, where that wire loom goes through there's enough of a gap in the fire. The flames are just coming through that.
Yeah. See, they call that a firewall
because it lets fire through.
Because it keeps the fire out.
Nope.
So I don't think the firewall was mostly done. Well, I guess it was mostly done.
It's so wonderful.
Good Lord.
So we get it out. We assess the situation. We get everything squared away. He puts it all back together. We winch it till it runs out of winch cable on Jake's XJ, and they had a 30-foot strap on for an extension. And so he's like, "All right," they're like, "Bring your Jeep around and set it up, and we'll winch it up the rest of the way," because it still had another, 25 feet before he could get enough traction to back up the hill. And so we get my winch out and take it to him, but now we're not going to use this. It's still tied off by the other strap.
Yeah.
So now we need a different winch point. And I'm like, okay, well, it's got a hitch on the back. The back bumper's a piece of tube with a hitch welded into it. Like, no problem. Cool. I was like, go grab the hitch out of the back of my Jeep. It has a D-ring on it. Yep. So he goes grab the hitch, brings it back, go to throw it in. The fucking hole on the hitch is a 9/16 hole. So my 5/8 pin won't fit through his hitch.
Jesus. Of all the issues there.
I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what the fuck? And so like he's got ammo cans welded in the bed of it, which is the coolest thing ever. Like there's 2 big ammo cans and a little ammo can all welded in the back. So they're all full of like stuff. And he's looking, he's got another pin. He grabs the pin and goes to stick it in there. Also a 5/8 pin. He's like, damn it. He's like, I thought there was a pin in here. Whatever. And I was like, hold on. I go up to my Jeep and I get my bag of bolts.
Yep.
And I pull out a 9/16, like a 1/2-inch grade 8 bolt.
Yep.
And it's like 2.5 inches long.
Oh boy.
I'm like, I don't know if that's enough.
She's in there.
And I go back down there and I slide it through and you can't see it through on the other side. I'm like, oh, well.
Oh boy.
And so I go back to my rig and I'm parked also behind a tree, like a good size, like foot foot or
I think
18 inch.
hiding behind a tree
Oh,
would
yes.
be a good way to.
Oh, yes.
to
And like where the
describe
tree was
that.
at is like I could hide behind the tree and kind of like peek around it.
Yep.
And so I commenced to winching him up with a grade 8 bolt. Hold the life of this vehicle hanging in the balance on 1/2 inch grade 8 bolt, single shear.
That may or may not be coming all the way through.
Oh yeah, single shear.
Lord.
Anyway, we finally get this thing back on the solid ground. He checks the fluids. Turns out the trans was a little overfilled, so that was part of why it was pumping
No,
out.
it's fine now.
Yeah, nope, perfect. He checks it. He's like, nope, actually, it's good. It's full. It's right at full. I was like, all right.
Holy crap.
I was like, but it's like the wires are all burnt. And he goes, I bet it starts. I was like, if you say so. And he gets in there, turns the key, and she fires right the fuck up. Is that not the most wonderful thing ever? He fires it up and drives it out of the way. And so then we winch up Trevor and his Jeep. He pulls up there. We winch him to the top. And then we finally get on to doing something else. But like, what a wonderful story.
Oh, it's
like,
a good story. But
I'm not the best storyteller.
boy.
You know, I just drag some stuff out. You get all the details in there, but this thing was on fire. It's on fire on a hill, hanging by a winch cable. It was actually pretty good. So that's the start of the day. So by this point,
nobody has like a video of this.
I have some videos.
I mean, obviously the fire was priority, but like,
yeah.
I like a good
I have some-
documented fire. You know?
I wish I'd had the GoPro running the whole time because, this whole thing was a shit show because we ended up down in a spot where those vehicles shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
And you can get to that spot, but you can't get back
You
out.
can't get
Going
out.
back the other way, there's no way.
Hmm.
And so, thank God we had some winches. But it was cool. Like, and we're sitting there laughing about this the whole time. Like, boy, it's gonna make a good ass story on the podcast.
Yeah, no kidding.
We get out of there and we go on to four wheeling and we do some more trails, hit this and that, the other things. Pretty good time. And then Trevor decided that he's gonna go home because he had some other obligation.
Mhm.
So that was in the green XJ. And by this time, it wasn't very much longer. Jake had something to do also. Maybe it was Jake that had to go and Trevor decided to go as well. But whatever it was, they all took off, leaving just Kenny and Colin, myself and James. So 2 rigs, 4 people.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go hit some trails. And so we went out and did a whole bunch of other stuff, just roaming around the park, just kind of checking out. Man, it's cool. They got, there's a nice creek. Like there's a creek that runs through the park that goes like from really shallow to really deep.
Mhm.
Kenny took me down the trail where he rolled that thing last time. And so what that is you're coming down a hill. He went to go up the hill,
Oh,
but you're coming down. And as you get almost to the bottom of that, it's like crowned,
yep.
but it's just wide enough for a vehicle.
Hmm.
And it crowns on either side. And he said he was going to go up it and it slid and just, if you slide either direction, it doesn't matter. You're going over.
Yeah.
But there's not an option.
Hmm.
Like you can't slide on the last 15 feet of this thing.
Jeez.
It's kind of a sketchy, like not a great go up, you know?
Yeah.
Better coming down, not great going up.
Says nobody in off road ever, but
Right. But
you
in this
know,
scenario,
yeah.
not great.
Huh.
Went and did that. Ran through a really cool, like where the bottom of that is, it drops you into the bottom. So the cool thing about this park is there's so much change in elevation.
Mhm.
And like, it's not a ton, maybe 100 feet between the top and bottom, but nonetheless, it is, you're like, there's just valleys and you get down into a ravine and it's just, you're cutting through where the water cuts through.
Yeah.
And so it's really, it's beautiful is what that park is.
Huh.
Especially when we just had a fresh snow the night before.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting up on top of a hill, you can see every trail cut out and everything else is white.
Well, that's kind of cool.
It was. And I got some pictures of it too. And I'll post those up on the Instagram. But that park is just gorgeous for that. It's a lot like the trail side of Badlands.
Mhm.
In terms of like that, like a lot of trails and different stuff up and down, hills and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Similar terrain, yeah.
Yeah, somewhat similar, but it's very neat. I would say it's like, I don't know, but either way, nonetheless, we cut through a bunch of the different trails and stuff like that, and then we went down in the ravine, and there's a couple of like stone bluffs down there, which are cool for pictures. I got a few pictures with the XJ in front of those, and I did some flexing, met up with some people, said hi to them, and then Kenny's like, "What do you want to do now? We got about an hour left." I was like, "Let's go find some other trails."
Yeah.
So we turned around. We're up by the office in the creek, and we turn around and start heading the other direction. And as we're heading the other direction, I pass one spot that has like a
3-foot rock ledge that you have to go to get into this trail. And it's just a real cutout trail that just goes up and then turns and who knows where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of cool looking. And Kenny's still driving. Okay. I cruise on and go another 100 yards, maybe. And here's another trail that looks gnarly as all get out. And I'm like, that looks pretty cool. And Kenny's still driving. I'm like, damn. And so I keep driving a little bit. I'm like, I want to try those. And so I call him on the phone because I didn't have radio or anything like that.
Yeah.
I call him up. I'm like, hey. I was like, do you see those 2 trails? No, what trails are those? I was like, the ones back. And by this time he stopped. So I pulled up next to him. I'm like, those trails back there look pretty gnarly. He's like, you want to try them? I was like, you're not going to go up them. I was like, you won't make it. And because he'd had some little bit of trouble trying to, when I told you the 4 wheels spinning and he was going backwards.
Yep.
That was in between this 2 points here. And I was like, and it was cutting out. He was having a hard time keeping it. Once it would get on an angle, I don't know if it was low on fuel or what the deal was. But as soon as you get on like an angle and try to give her the beans, it would start cutting out. And so he's like, yeah, you want to go do those? I'm like, sure. So I guess those trails are called, the one with the rock ledge is Bus Stop. And the one with the other one is called Black Trail.
Okay.
So they're more like obstacles than trails because they're short runs.
Okay.
But anyway, I go ahead and get into these things. It is everything those 40s had to get me up into this area. And it goes up. So Black Trail, you get in, you kind of do like a little like off-camber stuff. And Kenny's like, I think I can make it through that. And it wasn't terrible. And you just climb over 2 or 3 rocks to get through that. And then I get up to the other part of it and it's all mud. And I'm trying to bump up. There's a rock on my left and there's dirt on my right. So I'm in a rut basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to get up over this other rock that's probably 2 feet tall. And I don't want to hammer it hard because I'm afraid that once I get up on top of it, I'm going to come back down on the diff because I can't tell exactly like how much clearance there is. And so I keep messing with it. And Colin's got a good video of me, like a decent video, but he's pretty far back. He's shooting with his phone. But I'll tell you what, it feels like one thing in the rig.
Yep.
It looks completely different in person. It looks like you're not even doing anything. Like, oh, is he even going to try to like get up that? Like, and you hear Kenny in one part of the video, he's like, come on, give it the beans. And
I was doing it.
I was doing what felt like I was getting pretty rowdy. That's the hardest I've beat on that rig in a while, like in a long time.
And he was telling you to get after it?
Yeah.
Well, you were
it sounded
in your
nasty.
head, you were getting after it?
Yeah, in the vehicle, it sounded like we
what
were
are we
doing
talking
things.
RPM wise here? Like
35, $4,000. Like not terribly high, but like I'm in 4 low. It's like the wheel speed is low is the issue. It's like
So
the outside, it doesn't look cool, but on the inside, it's like, whoop. You know, you're standing there pretty good. But
So
I'd back up like 6 feet and I would stand in at like 3/4 throttle until I hit this rock
and just let it ride.
and just keep on with the hitting it. Like not let out, just like hit the rock and just keep on. And it would like launch you up in the air like 2 feet, you know, to try to climb up the rock, but I would lose traction because the rock's all slippery. You're in all mud and it'd fall back down. Man, I tried that probably, I bet 10 times. Finally, I'm starting to get a feel for it, like what needs to be done here. And I need to come at it so you're kind of turning as you're trying to hit this obstacle. You're kind of in a turn a little bit.
Yep.
I needed to come at it where I was climbing the dirt wall to the right. And then as soon as it hit, I needed to let it pull me to the left. And I need to stay in that throttle pretty heavy to get around that.
Yeah.
And so finally I hit that thing with enough momentum and just I gave it a full commit instead of like I'm not sure about this. I finally was just like, oh, well, if it breaks, we'll just drag it out of here. And so I hit it with full commit and it went over top of it and I stayed in it and got the back end over it. And then that trail goes up and goes to another gnarly little like rock obstacle. And then it turns to the left and then pops you out up top. But it was fun because once I got past that rock, I just stayed down the throttle and got through it. And then so that was Black Trail.
Yep.
And then we go back to Bus Stop, which has that 2-foot rock ledge up front or 2 or 3 foot rock ledge up front. I climb up that pretty easy, not too bad. I go about 30 feet and it's loose enough terrain that I can't get enough wheel speed to like get me up there. I'm like basically stuck in mud and I back up a little ways and I just stick it on the floor and just let her eat. And it's running about probably 3,500 RPM, just spinning wheels the whole way around there. And like there's some rocks in the middle. We're just bouncing off these rocks. And again, you're in a kind of a rut, so it's not like you're going to go anywhere side to side.
Yeah, you're just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah, you're just sled on rails.
Yep.
And I just left her not on the floor, but it was pretty pinned. And we get almost to the top, and up top, it goes off camber to the left. Like your right side comes up. No, the left side comes up and the right side goes down. And in the rut that you're in, you're following that rut. And I get up there and I let out of the throttle about, I don't know, a foot from a tree. Had I stayed in the throttle, we'd have flopped her.
Oh,
because I had the lockers locked in. So like, if it hit it was going to hit the tree with the tire. And we were just going to climb the tree.
Climb it and roll.
Oh, yeah. And I let out and James was like, tree? And I was able to.
Well, yes, thank you.
Thank God for hydraulic assist, because if I had not had any kind of steering assist, I would not have been able to turn the wheels. But I was able to turn the wheels to the right and back it up and swing the front end to the left. And then that leveled us out in that rut that I was in. Like I kind of climbed up on the sidewall of the rut. And then we were no worries. The tree was way far away from us.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty of room there. But when you're coming up at speed, you're in one rut. And like you were coming up at speed, and like you couldn't like turn out of it at speed. And so anyway, I was able to turn out of that and pull up there. The time I got to the top, the transmission was at 210 and it was locked into second or third gear. Cause I felt it when I backed up and tried to take off again. I had to give her a lot of power to get it to go. You hear just, whoa, it's kind of blowing through the transmission. It's like, I was like, oh yeah. It's like, that's not good.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh boy.
I was like, we're not in first gear. That's for sure. So I finally got up top there, shut the Jeep off. Cause usually if you'd shut it off and let it cool down for a few minutes, like a couple minutes, and then fire it back up, it'd be fine back in first gear. I shut it off and I hear Kenny down at the bottom. Wop, wop, wop. I'm like, he is not going to make it up that. And then, so we go walking back over towards the trail to try to see if we can see the bottom of it. And about that time I hear him and he's turned around and he's taken off. And there's another trail to get up top. That's just an easier trail. And so he takes that and comes up top, and I'm like, I'm grinning ear to ear. I was like, that was fucking awesome. Like, if I got to be 3/4 of the throttle, like 3/4 in the throttle, fully locked out to try to get up a hill, like that's a good time.
And now you see why rock bouncers
I
are
know.
the thing.
Yeah,
Because you're like,
yeah.
boy,
That was a lot of
let's
fun.
do that faster.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do any faster. I mean, it'd be fun faster, but I don't have the pocketbook.
Costs
for it.
money to do
Yeah,
that faster. Yeah, I feel you there.
But it was dude, like there's some trails in that park. I really wish that it wasn't closed, because I would definitely hit up Frankie and go get a like, show me the gnarly.
Give me the good times.
Like, I don't even know if I want to say that, because
you don't know till you don't know.
They're all caged out. Like, I think I need to put a cage on it before I try to pull something like that.
Where are we at with that? Is that happening soon?
At some point. I don't know about soon.
I didn't know
need money.
how planning, or how high on the list.
It's going to be a $2,000 venture.
Yeah.
So being the amount of money we dropped into that Jeep in 2020, we're going to hold out for a couple months.
Radio.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if I'm lucky, if I'm even close to lucky, maybe I'll get to send it over there. Maybe closer to spring, but I got some bills and stuff to pay for. So
my problem is I want to do my rear steer first.
Mm-hmm. See, the thing is about a cage, that's the hard part with a cage. You're like, oh, well, I need to get done, but it costs a lot of money. And it's like, you need to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Like before you go wheeling to some other park where it gets real hairy, like get a cage on it, because if I had a hybrid cage and I roll it,
you're fine.
Not the big deal.
Nope.
You have no cage and you roll it.
Bad day.
You're starting over.
Bad day.
Like new carcass. So yeah. So there's a really good argument to be had. Speaking of arguments. So that was our trip. So once we got done with bus stop, we went back over to, had him go show me Jimmy's Crack. Cause I wasn't sure. I was like, I didn't really understand what Jimmy's Crack was. I thought Jimmy's Crack was a different ravine, but it's not. It's literally like you come off, you go into a mud pit, and it like goes right back up the other side. And apparently it's very difficult. But I did not try it because it was 10 minutes until the park closed.
Should have just fucking gave her the beans.
I was like, I'm over
10
it.
minutes until nobody else can ride this bitch in a full size
That's a pretty
vehicle.
good reason. Yeah.
And you should have just fucking sent it. What are they going to do? Kick you out? Good. I wasn't coming the fuck back anyway. I just went full anger mode on you. I'm like, what do you do to tell me 10 minutes? Like 10 minutes, shove it up your ass.
Yeah.
I'm going up this bitch.
Yeah. So I was looking at it. I'm like, I'm already muddy. I don't really feel like being more muddy, because that's what it was. It's a mud hole.
Yeah, it's just a mud hole.
Yeah. And I was like,
That's how it always works. Right at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll just hit this.
Yeah.
And then, boy.
Yeah. And then you're dragging your shit out all mud. You're like, oh, that
3 hours later, you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
No thanks. So that's kind of that's how I saw it too. I was like, not that big a deal.
Yeah.
I came, I saw, I went home.
Yes.
But
Drove
anyway,
it on the trailer.
Drove it on the trailer.
Check mark.
Yep. Took it, washed it. So that was a lot of fun. But here is something very interesting. So we're shifting gears. Actually, what are we at on time?
1:45.
Hour and 45?
Yes.
All right, let's go into last call, and then we're going to have a discussion about legalities of OHV vehicles in Illinois.
Where was I supposed to bring up weight?
Oh, do you care to guess the weight of my trailer? It's a fairly lightweight. It's not like it's really beefy.
Like, I don't know if I've ever seen it. So
No, it's just a steel trailer with a wooden deck. But anyway, nonetheless,
18,
I went
20 foot.
I went 18 foot.
Okay.
I went and weighed it the other day because I've not weighed that combination.
Just the
recently.
trailer.
Yeah.
So you like unhook the trailer on the scale?
No.
Well, then it's a lie.
What I did was I went and weighed the truck and trailer together, and then I went back and weighed the truck after I unhooked the trailer. So when I weighed the truck and trailer together, it was a 10.5. It was 10.580 when I weighed the truck and trailer together. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of heavy. So I went back and dropped the trailer off, came back. That fucking truck weighs 8,500 pounds.
Bro, I told you it still drives like a go-kart.
God damn.
Mine, I scale it. So coming through, what is it, Homer there with the elevator? They always leave their scales on. So every like, I don't know, a couple weeks, I get bored driving through there and was like, I have to see how heavy she is today. Like maybe I picked up a couple pounds or something.
Yeah, some mud.
Last time I weighed it was 19,650. No,
Jesus.
Good Lord, 19,650.
Wow.
And it drives like a go-kart. That's what I'm
insane.
saying. Like a mother trucker weighs 10 grand.
Yeah.
And it probably A, didn't know the trailer was there.
I had no idea.
B, your foot knew that it was a race car.
Yeah.
And you're like, but I'm driving a full-size truck with a fucking trailer.
Yeah, that means that means it was 15,000 flat. With the Jeep on it, would have been about right at 15,000 or just a hair like 15.5.
And still felt like a race car.
Oh, you had no idea the fucking
What's that thing rated to tow?
God, I have no idea. 30,000, who knows? Like same engine and probably trans that you have in your truck.
Yeah.
And
20,000 pounds
weight.
all day long.
That's exactly, yeah. And you can put a trailer on the back of that thing of yours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Done that. It's magical.
That 6.7 is rowdy.
It's a beast, man.
So yeah, so I went and weighed it. The trailer weighs about 2,000 pounds.
What is it, a 350 or 2?
250.
Jeez, it's not even a 1 ton.
Yeah, not even a 1 ton.
Towing capacity of 15,000 pounds.
I call bullshit. It'll tow 15,000.
Yeah.
So you'd be
that's a
23,000.
20.
That'd be a 20. You'd weigh almost 23.5. Towing 15,000. That's pretty fat. I mean, that's only 4,000 more than what you weigh, though.
I'm only cooking 20 right now, but that's a 550.
And same engine and trans, like different rear axle, I guess. Let's see the 550s. What is it in the rear? Dana 80?
I don't even know.
Not even. That's a 10 lug, isn't it?
Effing huge. Yeah, it's 10 lug.
I mean, it's Sterling something.
Yeah, it's big.
Jesus.
It's a big girl.
I don't want to speak to that because I don't know what it is, but it's something large.
2021, you can get the 10 speed.
Oh, really? So what's the weight rate or the tow rating for a
fucking getting there? I
on.
got to get in the right. I was looking at the brand new ones. I got to look back at the 2020s.
Yeah, get the Googles to tell you where it is.
2020s.
I'm asking you about the last call. I haven't even fucking barely touched this beer. Ooh, I have exciting stuff.
Okay.
It's going to take us into last call.
Oh my God.
What is it? What's the tow rating on it? On a 550. Is it 30,000?
What?
15,000. It's the same.
What?
Come on.
I don't even understand how this is so high.
What does it recommend?
Oh my God. What's with the internet and like, do you accept the cookies? Like, I'm going to accept them because I want to see the information.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. The GVWR of the 2025 50
Yeah.
is 19.5.
Okay, so you're at your limit.
I might be slightly over. I'm going to have to
You're there.
thin it out.
Yeah. Okay. What's the rated towing capacity?
The gas.
The gas.
7.3 gas.
Okay.
Gross combined weight rating tops out at 28,000 pounds.
Wow.
That's a gas truck.
Jesus. The decil.
The 6.7 turbo diesel
Uh-huh.
maximum gross combined weight rating comes in at 40,000 pounds.
That's a 20,000 pound rig pulling a 20,000 pound cargo.
Dude. Like, fucking seriously.
All right, that would
40,000 pounds?
then you would actually feel it.
But I would hope so.
It's half of what a semi can pull. Like
On a
half
pickup.
rated, huh?
Oh, with a pickup. You've got to have a fucking CDL to run 40,000 down the highway.
You gotta have a CDL to drive what you're not drive what you're driving, but close to it. Like you put a trailer on the back of that, you need a CDL.
Yeah, and if I tow literally a lawn trailer,
Basically.
I'm fucked.
Yep.
Actually, I'm still fucked because I'm over 19.5, but potato.
Yeah, potato.
Depends on how bad of the day the guy's having.
Yeah. I don't think you gotta be 380 pounds over as the first ticket.
Oh, so we're good.
You're good.
I can add some
Except for
more
maybe your
cool
axle
stuff.
weight. You might be fucked on a rear axle weight.
Boy, don't worry about that.
So
40,000 pounds.
isn't that wild?
fucking
This 6.7's
ridiculous.
gnarly, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you're looking to buy a truck to tow, like that 6.7 is.
It's a bad motherfucker.
So you want to see something cool? I acquired something while we were four wheeling. Mail call.
It really has an M on it too.
It has a V and an M. See it? See the V?
Well, I didn't know. Hold on. I got to pause the last call. This does have to do with beer.
Okay.
Apparently,
Yes. How much beer can you haul with it?
huh.
What are you reading?
So apparently, you know how Yingling is now going to be nationwide?
Yeah.
They had brewed in Philadelphia and Florida before. Apparently now it is going to be brewed at the Molson Coors Brewery in Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, really?
Huh.
I don't know what that means to me.
That means they're going to start producing Yingling in Texas
It's interesting.
as well as
So that
Florida
Would
and
then,
Philadelphia.
so then we should be able to get it here.
Oh, we're going to be able to get it
In
here
Illinois.
anyway, but they're going to start
So they're-
brewing it
Yeah.
in Fort Worth, Texas.
It'll be garbage.
I don't think so. That's incredible.
Okay. You see it? See
Yes,
the box? So we
it
got a
has
box
an
here.
M.
It has a V and an M.
Oh, a VM.
Yeah. For Voidic Metalworks.
Voidic.
Voidic
Why is that
Metalworks.
somebody's last name?
Yes.
Colin.
Yes.
Okay.
Hence the
See,
Colin.
I remember.
Hence the
things.
Colin I was wheeling with all week.
Yes.
All weekend.
Okay. I'm terrible
Which
with
is-
names. For me, that was a big moment.
Which is the epiphany I had when I was standing at the truck at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Been hanging out with this kid all day long. And he hands me this box and I was like, what's the M for? Because I see the M. And I'm
Yep.
like, what's the M? He's like, oh, it's VM. I was like, oh, what's that? He's like, it's my company. I was like, what's your company? He's like, Voidic Metalworks. I'm like, oh, you're that Colin. And I was like, now I can put a face with a name. Like Colin didn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Like then he was like, no, Voidic Metal. Oh,
It still hasn't went off in my light bulb.
huh?
My light bulb.
Well, like I
hasn't
see the
been
name
there.
all the time in the Patreon group.
Okay.
And so like I like
oh, I
so
got
as soon as he said Voidic, I was like, oh,
You're that guy.
You're that Colin.
Okay.
So anyway, they brought us
Keep Cold.
this here. Keep
Top.
Cold TOP.
up.
Well,
That's top.
TOP.
That is T period O. Here you go. You need a knife.
I
to-
got a knife.
to
Just
cut things.
You know what? I should cut it.
Well,
Oh, I should take a picture of it.
Yes,
I didn't do that.
you
Let's
should.
take a picture. Oh, whew, that was close. Almost opened it before I took a picture.
Photograph.
There we go. So they painted on the box with his like logo thing. Like pretty cool. Like and it says keep cold, so I'm assuming it's beer, but it could be a cat. I don't know.
Maybe it's food.
Maybe it's food.
I guess people just. I mean, I'm not going to complain about free beer, but like some snacks would be a good idea.
I was thinking
what
that
I mean?
earlier. Oh my god.
Beer snacks.
You're going to be kind of excited for what's in here.
Tacos.
Rare.
Nugget tacos.
You have had this product one time.
taco nuggets. Okay.
I'm not sure if we can drink this on the podcast.
We can drink
We've
it.
already had one. Can we drink it again? We should drink it again.
What do you think? You said we've had this.
We've had this on the podcast.
Okay.
Rare.
Okay.
This, like, I almost don't want to drink it because it's so rare.
Okay. Well, let's see.
What do you think it is?
I'll probably crack it right now.
You ready?
Yeah.
Is your mouth ready?
Never found a beer I won't drink.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Except for Heineken. I don't drink Heineken
you ready?
anymore. Yes. Oh.
Bush apple. I did not know that's what was in here.
Did you get a picture of that?
No.
There's something on top of the beer too.
Ooh, is that the snacky snacks? Is it a cigar?
That just looks like a fucking display box.
What a cool box.
It's like a redneck holiday sampler pack of Busch Light, and I fucking love it.
It's so wonderful.
Busch Light, take notes. This is how we should
This
advertise.
is absolutely. What is up here? Okay, so I'm gonna pull this out, and I'm gonna pull out. I didn't even see this. Oh my! Oh! This is product placement.
Ooh.
Somebody's trying to get a partnership.
Well, he sent us beer, so I really don't think
Whatever's
he's starting
in here-
it in a bad way.
Yes, right. It's not a bad bribe. Okay, I'm opening it up here.
There's like
It's taped so well.
28 of his
So this
friends
is from
that it
this
could
is
have came
from
with.
Colin, I assume. I feel like this is a logo.
What did he do with the other
I
28?
feel like he printed. What is this? So here we have Colin Voidick. We have his business cards.
Are they metal? They
Nope,
look like metal.
They're not. And then we have. What are these? What was that thing you said that truck that we were earlier? The truck that you were telling me about, the competition Toyota?
The F toy?
It should have been called
The F bomb.
the F-bomb.
I'm going to weld that
Do you
onto
think
something.
that we got sent these because we may or may not use that?
I do not say that word.
These are 3/8. These are 3/8 metal F-bombs.
Why can I never be happy with anything?
Oh, this is dope.
Okay, go ahead.
We got one more F-bomb.
Yep. Well, I was just about to say, why can I never be happy with something? Because I'm like, well, it's a good opportunity for a friggin' bottle opener on my F-bomb.
And the last one is just that. It's a bottle opener. I don't have a bottle.
in here.
He sent us cans. Sent me a bottle opener, but sent me cans.
That's not mine.
Now we're complaining.
That's Busch Light apples.
That's awesome. I should take that home and polish it.
Yes.
Okay,
and then it should
those-
hang on the... Dude, okay.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes,
I
that
lost
needs
her.
to go home and get polished and then put on the wall
Yes.
next to our Wolf Fabworks
Let me get this.
peanut.
Let me get this all set up here. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Oh, man. It's a good thing that just the true fans wait till the end. Okay. Now we have... Are we both going to consume a full bush apple?
I don't know if I
We're
can
gonna split a
I
Busch apple.
share the sentiments. Like I was on the fuck it, I'm gonna drink whatever he pulls out of that
Yeah.
box. But I'm a little like,
Do we need it? Like, on the one hand, I want to drink it. On the other hand, I kind of want to save it. You know what I'm saying? Like-
save it for a good day.
Well, we could like have one now and split it, and then have another later. And you still got one in the cooler.
My wife hasn't had one,
I know.
so that's hers in the fridge.
Those things are nice and cold.
But like
They spent the night in the truck.
the depressing thing
God,
here,
that's so awesome. What a cool package.
I don't think I can drink this on the podcast
Why?
because we have yet to double up on a beer.
I know.
We've drank Starbucks a couple times, but I feel like that's a technicality because it's coffee.
Because coffee.
But like with beer, we have not. We over a year we have not drank the same beer on this podcast.
So you wanna save it?
We got to save
It's
it.
just specialty.
Drink it as
God,
the.
it's so cold. Feel it.
What's it outside?
Oh yeah.
I just want
Well, and it's like packed in.
fucking shotgun a Busch Light apple, but they're so rare you can't afford to. Damn it!
All right, we're putting her back in here in the box. Ever so
I feel
gently.
like that's a Patreon beer
God,
next
so
week.
cool. Oh, new segment.
Segment.
I like that.
Patreon
beer.
beer.
See, now we can drink before. And look at this. They carve the foam out so it fits perfectly in
That's
the
what
cans.
I said. Like literally,
This is
Bush
so wonderful.
needs to fucking holiday sampler pack that.
Okay, thank you, Colin. We have packaged it back up. These will need to go in the fridge. And we will need to get a beer for the last call segment so that we can get this shindig on the road. And we can't do a Pabst coffee beer.
Nope.
Because that doesn't fall under technicality. How cold? Probably not very cold. What?
I bet they're cold.
You think Corey's beers are cold enough for us to drink?
Grab one. I bet you they are.
All right, hold on. You really need to put. I was going to message you earlier this week and tell you to put one in the fridge.
I only think about it when we're in here.
Well, I was gonna do that a couple days ago and say, hey, go pick out a set of beers from Corey and put those in the fridge. And then knowing that I had this box with beers in it, I was like, you know what? No need. I'll bring these and we'll drink those.
They put us in a pickle.
There's a bit of an apple.
They put us in an apple.
Put us in a bit of an apple.
Oh, geez. Bunch of drunks, dude. Side note, tangent story.
Everywhere.
I opened the door to my service truck this morning, and all I heard was that tink, 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 tink of cans falling out. There's literally 3 Red Bull peach cans fell out of the damn truck. Nice. And I was like, boy, it's like a goddamn drunk went on a binger and's got his Red Bull cans falling everywhere. It was a shameful moment.
Oh my gosh. He sent us so many IPAs.
IPAs.
So many. Regular beer that's like a beer. A beer that tastes like beer. That's not what I'm looking for. Somewhere in here is a beer. Oh my god, it's a blonde ale. What's going on in here? No, that's it. Okay. Alright, so apparently Corey sent us all IPAs. I think. Here we go. Oh, I got one here. Ooh, that should be a good one. Okay, I got the wrong cups for this deal, but that's okay.
That's all right.
I have a bottle. Where's my Voidic bottle opener? I put it back on the floor.
You put it in the floor, so you're going to take it home and polish it.
Okay. So, let me cut this bag open here from Corey. We're drinking our first Corey beer. And what is it, you ask? That stuff might be about the right temperature.
It's probably pretty good.
This is a Warlock. This is a Southern Tier Brewing Company Limited Warlock Imperial Pumpkin Stout.
Pumpkin stout.
Yeah.
Boy.
I know.
We're late to the party.
This is going to be a good one.
Or we're early.
I was looking for a stout because I knew if it was a stout, we could drink it at 64 degrees like it is.
Yep.
Versus like an IPA where you drink an IPA at 64. It's like, I don't know. Like, that's probably where it should be, but maybe not. Excuse me while I get crafty. Keep the people entertained. Don't just let them sit there. Oh, so awesome. You ready? And that right there is the sound of an F-bomb opening a Warlock.
Oh my God.
Isn't that awesome? I'm going to take that home and polish it.
Polish that up and we'll put it on the shelf and we'll never
what
touch
we'll
it
do.
because we have a fingerprint on it. That's a lie. We're going to use shit out of it.
Yeah, it'll stay clean for a long time.
Polish it.
Yeah, it'll stay clean for a long time. Okay, I have a Warlock and I need your cup, your glass. I have to figure out how to redo this. I can't remember how to pour these anymore. I feel like it's to the bottom of the P.
It's been a while since we've had the podcast
Glasses.
Glasses, and not just a generic pint glass.
Oh, yeah, that's the spot right there. Right to the middle of the P. Nailed it. All right. There you are, senor.
It's a pumpkin stout.
It smells like a stout. It smells good. It smells.
It does have a little hint of gourd.
Close your eyes.
I already just did this.
Did you feel like you were standing in a cornfield?
Yeah,
in a sweatshirt,
waiting for my wife to pick out a pumpkin.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like smells like fall.
And then you got to carry this stupid pumpkin like 84 fucking miles. I'm a great person to have around during the holiday seasons. I'm just a negative Nancy.
Ooh, that's legit. How you feel about that?
I would like to try that on nitro.
Oh, really? It's interesting. On nitro. I wonder if they ever did that. This is 8.6 by volume.
Does that have a little creaminess to it?
Yeah.
It does.
See, and that's what I think. Like,
Nitro
if
would
you
be,
had that on nitro, then kind of mellow it out just a little bit
Mhm.
more, but it kind of highlight that creaminess.
it has enough of those flavor of the spice flavors that it doesn't need the carbonation to carry it.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like nitro, it'll flatten that front side out, but it'll kind of pick up that back creaminess. And I think, well, it'd be kind of like a creamy spice. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to try it.
So this is a Southern Tier Brewing Company. I like it. It's good. It's real good. Thanks, Corey. I like it. I thought maybe they might have a little more explanation on the thing here, but they don't. Just says they're in Parksburg, PA. Is that right? There's some more. Southern Tier Brewing Company, Lakewood, New York, and Parksburg, PA.
So if you smell that,
Yes.
and
Smells
then you
like
taste
spices.
it,
Mm-hmm.
it literally like
It's as close as I want to be to a pumpkin spice latte.
it intrigues me because when you smell it, you get the spice.
Mhm.
You get quite a bit of spice.
Mhm.
And then you taste it and you kind of expect to be smacked in the face with like, I don't know,
Spice.
finger quote, like pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
But like that creaminess
Takes it. Yeah.
knocks the edge off of that
Mhm.
spiciness, if you will.
There's
and
something
it
else.
mellows it out
Yeah.
quite well.
I don't know what the other thing is I'm getting on that. It's chocolate. Yeah, I'm getting chocolate on it. Like when I'm
There's
smelling
got to
it,
be something to smooth it and get that creaminess. It's,
when I'm smelling it, I'm getting the pumpkin, the spices,
yeah.
and chocolate. And I'm like, what is that? Oh, I know what that is. I was like, it's just a stout. You know, like stout has that chocolatey
Yep.
kind of smell.
Mhm.
That was a good choice. I'm glad I did that. So now that we've weeded out all the people that don't give a goddamn about craft beers, on to the last call topic,
Yes.
which is the legality behind OHV permits in Illinois.
Okay.
So here's the deal. The people that have bought the park. So if you didn't know this, and I didn't know this until recently, the new owner of the park, his name is Jimmy.
Yep.
Wife's name's Tina.
Yep.
Jimmy was there when they opened the park.
Correct.
Guess who Jimmy is?
Don't know.
Jimmy's Crack Jimmy.
Okay.
So he got his 4-wheeler ATV stuck in that hole when they were trying to cut the park originally.
Okay.
And he was trying to get his 4-wheeler out with his pants like trying to fall down. Hence Jimmy's Crack.
I like it.
Yep. So that's how it got its. Well, that's what Joe told me how it got its name.
Okay.
Joe was there. So I'm gonna take his word for it.
Okay.
Nonetheless, so they got a grant with they took the it is a OHV RTP. So it is a recreational trail
Permit.
not permit.
Procurement.
No, but anyway, what it is it's a grant where they give you money to maintain trails and do trail projects. So this grant setup is more based around running, bicycling, and what they consider OHV, UTV, ATV, and motorbike,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be highway or off-highway motorbike. And then the Illinois State's vehicle code, when you look up OHV, it literally lists it as any vehicle designated to, like, any vehicle for recreation that is for off-highway use and can, like, traverse cross-country on a highway,
Correct.
essentially.
Yep.
So I'm looking around through the vehicle code. I'm deep in this last night, trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. So I'm like, wait a minute. So how come they have OHV permits that you
Yep.
can buy for vehicles?
Yep.
And so, like, now that they're now that they have signed up for this grant,
Yep.
people using that land need to have an OHV permit.
Yep.
Then it also says there's just a sliver where it basically says no trucks.
Yep.
Or whatever, or vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and you're going to get somebody like with more legal knowledge than me, I feel like the reason the grant is written that way is because the grant is for both off-highway motorized vehicles,
but it also can be used for people doing like running trails, bicycling trails, and things like that. But when you look up an Illinois state code and you look in like dig, and I dug a little bit on Google. Now, hopefully somebody that knows more than I do can answer this question. I can't find anywhere in like Illinois state legislation where it says anything about a vehicle such as a Jeep or a truck being able or being even recognized as an off-highway vehicle.
It's because it's not.
That's the fucking problem.
Would you like me to inform you of this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you register your truck
Yep.
or Jeep
In Illinois. At like plated.
Yep.
Yep.
You pay taxes.
Yes.
They are allotted to certain,
Yep.
road maintenance, all this
Mhm.
bullshit. So your sticker, the same thing. When you
Yep.
renew it, same shit.
Right.
So because your Jeep or
Mhm.
truck, and we're not going off the, like mine, my shit don't have a title. And
Yeah.
I mean, I have a title for the cab
Right.
and like in my name,
But
but
even
it's
still.
not plated. So we're not playing that shit
Right.
because that's technically illegal. So
Okay. Yeah.
we're going legal side.
Right.
So your Jeep that you have
Mhm.
titled and registered, insured and all that,
Yeah.
you are paying to a different pool essentially
Right.
of money that does not pay for that grant.
Totally understand that.
And the thing is, my understanding is Indiana is the same way.
Okay.
However, because at Redbird, the requirements for on a state public or state property,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be tagged and insured,
Yep.
or have an OHV sticker.
Or have an OHV.
So Indiana has recognized that they have state land
Mm-hmm.
that things want to ride on that are not ATV or side by side
Yep.
or whatever. So they have made it that you can get this OHV sticker.
Exactly.
Illinois
Is dumb.
does not recognize a Jeep or a truck as an OHV.
So therefore, they don't even
Therefore,
offer a sticker.
You don't even have the option,
Yeah.
because when you go to register your ATV or side by side or whatever, you pay a portion of that registration cost
Right.
pays towards the pool
Right.
that this grant pays out of.
And I'm 100% on board. So if that
Yep.
grant, say the parks that are big enough for trucks or whatever,
Yep.
and it is like Williams Hill.
Yep.
Say they wanted to have trucks in there. Either way, nonetheless, if Illinois came up with an OHV permit
Yep.
to where my vehicle could be registered as an OHV dual use vehicle, where I can run it on the highway, but also can run it off highway on these permitted trails and
Yep.
things like that. If they came up with a sticker that's $50 a year, I'd buy it.
Yep.
Because why would I not pay money towards these things? Like, this is what I like to do. I like to go off road. So if I can pay $50 a year for my permit and I go wheeling 3 times in these parks, like, it is what it is. It's a cost of doing my hobby.
Yep.
And some people may be upset with that, but me personally, like, you're paying towards getting these parks done.
Yep.
So,
But the problem is there's
Yeah.
not enough public land to make
Yeah.
it worth their while from
I
a
think-
legal standpoint
is
to
like,
change that.
I don't know. And maybe it's what Chris was saying with like the ATV, UTV groups are more organized. So they have like, they've got the legislation in their favor, so to speak.
I don't think necessarily.
Yeah.
I think it's more of there's no
No
truck
land.
club or Jeep club
Yeah.
coming in saying,
Hey,
well, we want to
Yeah,
buy
exactly.
an OHV sticker for
Right.
your public land in Illinois.
yeah,
Because quite honestly,
there's not a lot
there ain't none. You
Yeah,
know, like
right.
there's not none, but there's
less.
it's not
But there
enough
could
to go
be.
fight for. You
So
know
here's
what
a
I
fun
mean?
thing. So the rail trail, the Kickapoo Rail Trail, the
Mm-hmm.
bicycle path that runs from that they're trying to make run. It's supposed to be not transcontinental, but go from one end of the country to the other is
Yep.
what they want to do. That's the end goal. I think that may fall under that grant. Like, I think that money may have come from that sort of grant. So could you then get that grant and go buying land like across the state and just basically make an off-road trail? Now Google's trying to look it up for me. And make an off-road trail that goes from one end of the state to the other. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, just start buying up land that connects through like woods from one end to the next. You get what I'm saying?
Property ain't cheap.
Yeah, but they're going to give you a grant.
I know.
I was reading in that grant that there is no max number.
I would imagine there's a max of how
At
much
some
they can
point.
spend eventually.
Probably, yeah, at some point. But if you do it over decades,
Well, yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But anyway, I don't know. It was something that crossed my mind last night. It was just very interesting to me that there's this untapped Jeep / off-road vehicle market that they don't even like. They're talking. They in 2014 when they opened the OHV stickers, because they didn't have OHV stickers until 2014.
Yep.
When Illinois opened up the OHV stickers, they were like, it's going to make between $600,000 and $700,000 in revenue or something like that. Yeah, I think so it was something like that. And they were talking about that number. I'm like, bro, if you made that for trucks, you double that number.
I don't know if you would.
Really? Have you seen how many listeners we have?
Would I pay $50 to go to essentially
I'm not
the
saying
cliff?
50. It's 15.
Oh, 15.
It's 15. But I'm saying if it was 50 and we had land that was being allocated for this use, I would pay it. But if it was 15 and they were working on getting land, and then that opens me up to that grant land.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another fun fact. So then I would pay like $50 a year. I would do it because it would be worth it to keep the ball rolling in the right direction for more OHV stuff. That would then make more people want to make off-road parks and get that grant if it was open to all the vehicles. So it's hard because that grant is, the wording on that grant is wild. Like, because it can be anything from a walking trail to a ATV park.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like, it's really broad and you have to like sign up for your specific one. And then they determine what your deal is or whatever.
Yeah. I just don't know if the market's there.
It may not be.
Because I just feel like
there's a lot of off-road vehicles in this state.
But are they going to want to off-road in the state?
If you give them land.
Well, but
Okay.
yeah, but so you're fighting for
have
what's
an off-road
there now.
You have an off-road park 30 minutes from your house. How often are you going to go?
I don't know. The Cliffs has been there the entire time.
It's 2.5 hours from
I'm
you.
on live.
Yeah.
And I've never been.
That's because you heard bad things about it. You just took it for what you took face value. And was like, yeah, okay.
But I mean, I don't know. I just wonder that. Like, yeah. I mean, it's the first time you went. You know, like that's the
same deal. I heard bad. Like,
there's so many people I know who are like, oh, I just never been there. But like, that's the only one that comes to mind that's available,
right,
in the entire state
for now.
So that's what I mean.
There's a lot of land in this state. Like,
I know.
There's a lot of wooded land in this state. Like 300 acres isn't very big.
Nope.
Like there's patches of wooded ground. You go out west, go out there, other side of Springfield, Jacksonville area. Like it starts getting hilly quick.
Oh yeah.
So like there's stuff out there. There's like you go down south, get south of like Effingham, and it starts getting hilly again.
That's what, probably 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. And then you go north and it gets hilly up there, like Rockford, like up north of Bloomington.
3 hours, I could go flat nasty almost.
Yeah. Well, but it's just another park.
I know.
Like, how many times are you going to go to Flat Nasty?
I don't know.
How many times you been?
3 times.
Okay.
More than the Cliffs.
More than the Cliffs.
And it's over double the drive.
You heard better things.
Well, it is better park. Big rocks.
Yep. But I'm just saying.
I know. It sucks because you hate to see any kind of land taken away for wheeling.
Can you imagine for the guys that live right up around that, like Kenny and Frankie, those guys?
Yeah, you just go out and beat your shit and have a nice day.
They live right there by it. Like,
yep.
Like, and there was like, I guess from what I understand, some of the guys with the bigger trucks, like the guys that run around Frankie or whatever, supposedly, from what I heard anyway, they would go people would call when they got real stuck. They'd call those guys up and they'd go out there and get them out and charge accordingly.
Yeah.
So like, that's a revenue, that's an income thing for them.
Yep.
And now it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Clearly it wasn't making money.
I don't understand.
Or it would have been not to this point kind of a thing,
Yeah, right. Yep.
Because I think this is their last ditch effort to save the UTV, ATV side-by-side market. Yep. Which is strong.
Just sucks. Yeah.
But
growing stronger every day. Yeah. Yep. I just don't want to buy one.
Oh, I'm going to buy one.
I feel like it's inevitable, but I don't want to. It's literally like owning a race car go-kart.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you watch them run around in there, like in those things, it's like, yeah, it's a micro Ultra 4 car.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful.
They're fun.
I bet. Especially the ones that are built.
Oh yeah, I've
They look
never
real
been,
fun.
I've never. No, nobody's dumb enough to give me the keys
To a built one.
to a built like tube chassis razor.
The guys that were running around there were running around in
Boy.
some modified tube chassis, 1,000, 1,100, whatever's.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They were pretty gnarly. And it was like a skating rink because everything was frozen.
Oh yeah.
So they were just like ball
letting her hang
Oh
out.
yeah, hanging out. Oh yeah, about got smoked by one of them.
Yeah, you'll have that.
Yeah,
Good
come
time.
come ripping through there. It was good. Oh yeah, it was a great time. So it just that's what makes me upset about it. But I just don't understand why the state doesn't recognize that there's dual purpose vehicles in the state. Or like you said, maybe it's just not a thing. But I'm telling you right now, fuck, who cares? Who cares if there's 5? Make a damn permit for it. Collect your fucking 35, your $110, whatever.
It's all a cost when it comes to the government.
That's exactly right. But anyway, nonetheless, it was a good time. I had a great time. I feel terrible for the guys up there that don't get to play. There's been some rumor going around of maybe some people working to try to get something retracted, but I don't know. Like, how much would you send them money? How much money, if you heard something going around, how much money would you pay to help get that turned back into a full-size truck park?
I'm ashamed at how little I would offer.
Okay. None?
Pretty close to it.
Really? $10?
I mean, like,
Really? $10?
I would like to go once,
Yeah.
but I just like,
It was fun. It's definitely a 2-day park, even being that small.
I just don't know how many times I'd like to go there.
So much mud.
Yeah.
So wonderful.
I mean, like, it would be fun, but like,
It's fun because it's off-road. That goes back to the whole there are no shitty off-road parks.
yep.
Mhm.
And that's what I mean. Like, could I drive 2 hours to another off-road park around here? No.
One.
But yeah, Badlands.
Mhm.
But like, could I drive 3 or 4?
If that park was not closed up like it is now, like to big trucks, in 2021, I would probably go back at least once more this year, I think. But I would love to go south. I want to go to S'more. I would love to go to Flat Nasty in my own personal rig. I would love to go down to Windrock. And then like once you get down that way, there's so many parks.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Like Turkey Bay, the land between the lakes. Is that what it was? Did we decide that's what it was? Yeah. That seemed like it was pretty. Sound like a pretty cool.
Down that
Dirty
way.
Turtle. Yeah, just God, so many.
Hooter
I need a tow rig.
Yeah.
I need a tow rig that tows.
40,000 pound one.
F550. I looked. Not that a single cab's a great idea, but I
That would be a
looked.
terrible idea.
Yeah. It'll hold 3 people. That's
Not
all you need.
comfortably.
It's all right.
We went to Menards.
Yeah.
We went to Home Goods, and we went to the bookstore.
Yeah.
We did not buy an excessive amount of things, and the truck was full.
Oh.
Like cab full.
Uh-huh.
Like she's sitting over there holding the dog bed and
Nice.
like some books and like just shit everywhere.
That's the worst.
Hate regular cabs.
With no bed.
It was like a
Like no
mountain,
bed space.
mountain of shit, and then my wife was underneath of it. And I'm like, well, I can't see out that window, so
Good
I
grief.
assume nobody's coming.
Right? Jeez. Yeah, no, regular cab's a bad idea. Isn't that wild? Used to be like everybody used to do it.
Yeah, and then they got smart.
I guess we got it's too easy now.
Convenience is key.
That's correct.
All right,
So
let's
anyway.
wrap this mother.
All right. I don't have anything to tell you guys because I told you all in the beginning. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Had a great time wheeling with Kenny and Colin and Jake and Daytona and Trevor. That was a lot of fun. Meeting a couple of cool new people up there. Hopefully they'll check out the podcast.
Check out the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll see you at Williams Hill.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind
Because
of
that's what, about 4 hours for them?
probably. What's it from here?
I don't know, a couple.
Like 3 and some
I think
change.
It's about 3.
It's probably 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still should be good. That's interesting. I'm gonna go look up videos of Williams Hill.
Yep.
See if that's worth taking my old rig down there.
If you want my honest opinion, if you're going to come down for the race day, no, it's not.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna spend the whole day racing.
You're going to spend the day watching race car things and checking that stuff out and getting involved in that
I'll get bored.
aspect. I don't think you're going to get bored.
I don't think so.
Put you up on a race hill.
Put me in a seat.
I mean, it could happen. It's not out of the question.
Let me borrow that helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, but then I have to have one of those things, right?
Get a Hans.
I need my own.
And a fire suit.
Do I need all my own? Oh,
No.
God, a fire suit.
You just got to find somebody to let you borrow all their
I'm
shit.
going to go buy Timmy's. I'm going to go borrow Timmy's.
You're not going to fit in Timmy's fire suit.
I'm too big.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I don't mean that as an insult.
No.
I literally mean that
small guy.
sincerely, that he's a little fella.
Yep. It's amazing. I'm a small guy. He's smaller.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
you never know.
Okay.
You won't get bored. I promise you that.
All right. If you say so. I hope not.
Shouldn't. If you get bored at that, you're doing things way wrong.
I forgot to mention a bunch of shit in this podcast.
Write it down.
I should have.
Okay. That's all I got this week. I'm out of beer, so.
All right. We're shutting her down, guys. Thanks for joining us for episode 57, and we will catch you on the trail.